of the day. 5:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Thunderstorms being blamed for delaying the start of the second day of the Chicago Air and Water Show. Yesterday's pushback was because of lightning and storms in the area. The fast-moving storms also causing damage in the western and southern suburbs and major flight cancellations at O'Hare and Midway. A Crown Point, Indiana teen this morning is safe after she went missing over the weekend. Madison Edelman was located safe in Arkansas yesterday, and Alexander Fishtorn was taken into custody. A statewide Amber Alert was issued after the 16-year-old disappeared Saturday morning from Crown Point. Authorities say they're working to secure charges against Alexander Curry Fishtorn over his involvement in the girl's disappearance across state lines. 5:03 on AM 560, The Answer. And a 41-year-old man was shot and killed Sunday night near Calumet Beach on the southeast side of Chicago. Police tell us around 7:05, the victim was sitting on the ground next to a playground when a 25-year-old man approached him and shot him twice in the stomach. That man was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center and later died. The shooter was detained, later arrested, according to police. A man is seriously hurt after a porch he was standing on collapsed on Chicago's south side. Authorities say the victim fell 20 feet to the ground. After the porch gave way, that man was transported to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn in serious condition. Bail denied for a man accused of shooting an Illinois State Police trooper last week in Wheeling. Voldemir Dragon appeared in court over the weekend on attempted murder charges. Authorities say the suspect shot the officer while state police were executing a warrant at his home Thursday. That trooper, by the way, was treated and then released from the hospital Friday afternoon. Fish continue going belly up on the Little Calumet River due to a chemical spill. Bruce Rowe is with the Indiana Sand Dunes National Park.
The relative impact in terms of visitor enjoyment is very little. To protect public safety, of course, we want to keep people out of the water here until we really know what's in there and what the effects might be.
Rowe saying multiple beaches were also closed for a time along Lake Michigan. The spill is linked to steel manufacturer ArcelorMittal, who reportedly released some toxic levels of cyanide and ammonia into the water. The state of Illinois this morning is investigating 9 confirmed cases of communicable respiratory illness reported among residents at the Illinois Veterans Home in Quincy. Symptoms were reportedly exhibited by residents during the period July 24 through August 10. Now, you may recall Legionella, previously blamed for a massive Legionnaire's outbreak, disease outbreak at that home earlier last year and before. Apparently not suspected this time around, but state authorities are alerted at this time. 4 female police officers in Markham have alleged gender discrimination in complaints filed with the Illinois Department of Human Rights. The Daily Southtown reporting the complaints follow Terry White's promotion to chief of police last year. The Bears expressing their condolences this morning over the death of their former player, Cedric Benson. The former Bears #1 draft pick was killed in a motorcycle crash Saturday night in Texas. Benson selected by Chicago with the 4th pick overall in the 2005 draft out of Texas and was a member of the 2006 NFC Championship team. At the BMW, Justin Thomas won the BMW title. They're shooting a 468 final round at the Medina Country Club. Thomas posting a 3-shot victory over Patrick Cantley, who shot a 65 on the final day. Anthony Rizzo's 2-run home run helped the Cubs cruise past the Pirates 7-1, and the Angels hammered the White Sox in Anaheim 9-2. The news service of LifeLock with Norton. No one wants to wake up to the news they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is compromising their smartphone. That's why LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com and use promo code RISK to get 10% off your first year. 5:06 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated, HealthInsuranceMentors.com, Crumweedy Roofing, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
Hey, my friend's retail store was the victim of IoT password theft.
Yep. Cybercriminals are taking over security cameras, payment systems, and other IoT devices by exploiting vulnerabilities.
What if they target us and our dispersed network?
We're secured with Barracuda. We have advanced firewalls for our sites, enhanced security for our cloud infrastructure, and total email protection.
Such a relief.
Protect your business at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents and Doug.
Limu, there's a woman threatening to sign up for generic car insurance. Grab your birdseed and let's go.
I'm gonna sign these papers right here, right now.
Ma'am, drop the pen. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Thanks, Limu, Emu, and Doug.
Don't thank us, thank Liberty Mutual. But also thank us.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer. State laws apply.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
With data and texting included in over 200 countries and destinations, T-Mobile for Business keeps you connected at the corner coffee shop or a cafe halfway around the world. Business is changing. Are you with us? Visit T-Mobile.com/business.
5:09. Let's get an update on the roads. In the AM 560 Traffic Center, here is Jim Telemonte.
On this Monday morning, road work is wrapping up on the outbound Kennedy between Foster and Canfield. 2 left lanes are reopening and traffic is moving pretty well now on the Kennedy, both inbound and outbound. No delays to report on the Aidens or the Eisenhower. Stevenson looks good, the Ryan as well. I-57 clear. Bishop Ford Freeway inbound. The exit to 130th right now is blocked due to a collision involving a motorcycle. The Tri-State Tollway roadwork is wrapping up northbound before Archer to 75th. We see no tollway delays right now. Northwest Indiana roadwork resumes today on eastbound 8094 starting around Clay. That's traffic. I'm Jim Alamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Partly sunny. It'll be a warm and humid day. The high today 85. Tonight partly cloudy, low 68. Clouds and sun, warm and humid again tomorrow. A shower and thunderstorm in the late afternoon. The high tomorrow at 86. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
69 at O'Hare, 73 Lakefront, 65 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, my friend's retail store was the victim of IoT password theft.
Yep. Cybercriminals are taking over security cameras, payment systems, and other IoT devices by exploiting vulnerabilities.
What if they target us and our dispersed network?
We're secured with Barracuda. We have advanced firewalls for our sites, enhanced security for our cloud infrastructure, and total email protection.
Such a relief.
Protect your business at barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Have you heard what President Trump said recently?
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too.
Now you can watch Newsmax TV and get the truth about Trump from Bill O'Reilly, Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, Pat Buchanan, and more. Newsmax TV is America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in 70 million homes. Find Newsmax on DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, Spectrum, Optimum, Fios, Uverse, and more systems. See Newsmax TV today. It's real news for real people.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-6213. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-6213. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-6213. 1-800-400-6213.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chamber630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
If it hadn't been for Joe Cotton Ford, I'd still be driving a beautiful car. Now we go live to Dan and Amy broadcasting from Joe Cotton Ford.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Tina Carroll Stream.
Song never gets old.
We're launching our Freedom Summit extravaganza today.
Yes.
Ticket sales will detail the lineup. You've got the details of that. We'll probably have to field a defamation suit from Joe Cotton Ford for that song.
Well, it's all right.
Reputational damage.
Well, we're announcing this year's speakers, and they include, are you ready? Drum roll. Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Laura Logan. Hello, Laura.
Laura Logan will be great.
Yeah, Laura Logan. Sebastian Gorka, Molly Hemingway, and Carrie Severino. They're
Right.
authors of Justice on Trial.
Yeah, the Kavanaugh book.
Yeah. Rusty Reno, editor of First Things. Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com. And Will Chamberlain of Human Events.
He's the guy who has not slept with 20,000 women.
You're right. That would be
Chamberlain.
Wilt.
Yeah. That's how you
And then
distinguish
Chug
the two.
the Comeback Clown's going to be there.
I
as well.
can't wait for that. Yeah.
He's going to be there.
You got to buy a VIP ticket for Chud Chud.
Yeah, Chug the Comeback Clown. But come out and say hi to us. We're going to be broadcasting all morning long here at Joe Cotton Ford at Gary and North Avenue and lovely Carroll Stream.
Yeah, and we got some people that go to work the same time we do.
Yeah.
Rick from Moltec has already
Rick.
stopped by.
Hi,
So
Rick.
coffee, donuts, courtesy of Joe Cotton Ford. So stop on
And
by.
enter for a chance to win tickets to Freedom Summit.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, which is going to be November 2nd at the Chicago Westin, Northwest, and Itasca.
I better write that down.
Well, you got to get
show
your
up.
tickets today because this event always sells out. It's a big deal. And we've got a great lineup this year. I'm pretty excited.
It'll
And
be
you'll
better than
speaking
the
as well.
Air and Water show.
Oh, yeah,
It'll
wait,
be better
what?
than
Yeah.
the BMW at Medina.
Yeah, well, Phil Mickelson's hotel room caught on fire. Not his hotel room, but he was staying in the penthouse in the hotel.
At Eaglewood,
it's-
that resort
yeah.
right by Medina, which is
Right.
very nice. But yeah, lightning strike on Saturday night, and
he almost missed
missed
his
his
tea time.
Yeah, because he couldn't get back into the place to get his clubs.
I know.
Not that
would
his
That's-
finish would have mattered much had he not gotten back in to get his clubs and missed his tea time. He didn't exactly have a great
But
tournament.
isn't that when you insert yourself as like, hey, firefighter, do you mind putting on the mask and going in there and getting my clubs for me?
Sure, risk your life for my clubs.
Yeah. But it was
I'd do
quite,
it.
yeah. But the Air and Water Show, I mean, you live right there. How do you deal with that? And all the people, do you just...
I'm over it. Like I'm over everything in Chicago. I mean, it's nice. It's fun. It was fun. When I jumped to the Golden Knights several years ago, when they come to town as part of the Air and Water Show, that was a good time.
Mhm.
But otherwise, you know,
I
you
know.
try and stay away from all the suburban dilettantes.
We
That's
don't
what
know
I
where
try
they're
and
going. I saw somebody backing up on the North Avenue exit ramp. Like, yeah, no, got to be from the suburbs. And
Yeah,
I
I'll
was
just
right.
I'll just
Yeah,
pull
I'm
I'll just
you know
back
what, I'm
up
just
and
gonna-
get back on Lakeshore Drive.
Traffic's getting a little heavy.
No problem.
So, and I don't like the people in front of me. I'm just going to put her in reverse there. Yeah, it didn't really work out well for that guy.
Speaking of, so what did you? Well, what did you do?
But wait, what happened? Who won the BMW Championship? I know Tiger
Justin
came
Thomas.
in 37th place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Well,
Yeah, Justin Thomas. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
61 course record on Saturday. Yeah, they
Wow.
tore Medina up. Tore it up.
Really?
Next year when they play Olympia Fields, club to which I am a member.
You don't say. Do
It's not going to be 2,500, I'll tell you that.
No, it won't be.
Yeah. Even if we have rain and soft greens, soft fairways. Olympia Fields is, it's a better track.
Is it?
I mean, it's just that simple.
More challenging than Medina.
Yeah. I mean, Jim Furyk, 2003 U.S. Open, 6 under.
Wow.
And there was only, I think, 3 or maybe 4 players under par when we hosted the U.S. Open in 03. We're not messing around at Olympia Fields.
Okay.
It's not like it's, real golf.
And it's going to be there for sure next year.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
We had the kickoff this week. Actually, Jim Furyk, when he, after his first round, when he was at 1 shot off the lead, which was a great story, he faded a little bit, but he still had a good tournament.
good for him.
He came down to Olympia Fields to host a little kickoff for next year's BMW, which was very nice of him. Recounting his greatness at Olympia Fields and the greatness to come at Olympia Fields in 2020 when we host the BMW or whoever's sponsoring it. All right, so in addition to that, we have to get to this story. Let's keep it local. For those of you who don't know him, I'd like to introduce you to the Illinois General Assembly's version of Kathy Griffin, our very own Kathy Griffin here in the Illinois General Assembly.
Oh, what's the name?
His name is Martin Sandoval.
Oh.
He's a state senator, formerly of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District and other such illustrious local units of government. Cicero into the city, that area. Cicero Berwyn into the city. He had a fundraiser over at Klein Creek in Winfield. Or is that technically Wheaton? I think it's Winfield, isn't it?
Winfield's a suburb
Tracy
of Wheaton,
Kahn.
right?
Tracy Kahn. Go to
Hi,
Tracy
Tracy.
Kahn. It's Winfield.
Winfield.
All right. Tracy Kahn from Joe Cotton Ford knows the western suburbs. Klein Creek and Winfield. And part of the festivities, this is fun.
Oh, no.
They had a Donald Trump doll dressed in Mexican garb.
Oh, boy.
Martin Sandoval is Mexican-American. And they had a fake assault weapon that you could aim at Donald Trump.
And do they charge people? Like, make a donation to my campaign if you want to shoot at Donald Trump?
Yeah. I mean, by definition, it was a political fundraiser.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, and I tweeted out the pictures at Dan Prof so you can see them for yourself. So you should get that. So maybe Marty Sandoval could host CNN's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Fredo and Lamone. Like Kathy Griffin does,
Like
right?
Kathy, yeah.
Maybe he would get the same visit from the Secret Service that Kathy Griffin got.
Yeah.
Maybe
He should if he's doing that.
maybe the diligent, dogged Illinois and Chicago political press corps. Maybe they
Well,
might
they're
ask
using
Marty
weapons that
Sandoval.
that the
Maybe
left
they
wants
might
banned, right?
Maybe they might ask Marty Sandoval about inciting hate and violence. I mean, this is forever the challenge, right? Is to understand the standard and figure out to whom it applies. Do you see this? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And since this rotund legislator, Marty Sandoval, has decided to poke his head up and be a real cut-up and, outdo the Trump haters, I'll one-up you, and it'll be fun. Maybe there should be renewed scrutiny of a federal law enforcement nature on Marty Sandoval in the town of Cicero, who used to be a client of mine. I know a thing or two. Why don't you look into Senator Sandoval's contracts with the town of Cicero? I mean, how does a guy, and this is just the nature of Illinois and this kleptocracy, this is another classic case. You have a sitting state legislator, state senator, who represents a town that he also has a contract with to provide translation services.
Are you serious?
Oh, by the way,
There's
like
an app for that. You don't need.
yeah, and also 3/4 of the town speak Spanish.
Yeah, I know. I've got friends that live there, and that.
So
These pictures are awful.
So Sandoval has this contract, this relationship with Larry Dominic. Again, it was a client of mine. I have my own mea culpas for my time, but I mean, whatever. It's a public relations firm, and the town of Cicero was a client. That's all. It wasn't part of the. It wasn't like Tom Hagen to his Corleone or whatever. The D.C. press corps tried to, or the Chicago press corps tried to make it out to be, but. I'd welcome the scrutiny. Once upon a time, the likes of a Carol Marine would make her bones going after the Betty Lauren Malteses and picking off the dopes in Cicero. Where are they today? Where is she today?
She should be all over this story.
Yeah.
This is bad. I mean, they're mocking an assassination of our president, and he's wearing a Mexican mariachi outfit.
Yeah, well, this is nothing new, is it? It's nothing new. So for all the talk for the last week about Trump, all the accusations about Trump's rhetoric being the proximate cause of shootings in Dayton and El Paso, well, let's talk about it. If this is going to be rhetoric can be held accountable, one person's rhetoric can be held accountable for another person's behavior, well, I mean, you've had President Trump, you've had Secret Service investigate assassination attempts. You've had him accosted at events, including as a candidate.
A 19-year-old kid tried to shoot him, brought a weapon into his campaign rally in Vegas. Yeah.
People forget.
Barely got covered.
People forget. So, I mean, just, trying to keep a running tally. One of those CNN anchors, analysts, contributors gone wild, Ressa Aslan. Trump supporters must be eradicated from society.
Oh, please.
We talked about the Trump supporter who was a art gallery owner in Manhattan who was attacked for wearing a MAGA hat. I mean, we've talked about a number of stories, people being attacked for wearing a MAGA hat. Is that inciting hate and promoting violence? Bill Maher said Trump deserves to be brutally murdered like Khashoggi. Remember that highlight? Of course, less violent, but nonetheless message-sending incidents like Sarah Sanders being thrown out of a restaurant. Pam Bondi, the Florida Attorney General, identified, harassed, spat on when she tried to watch the new Mr. Rogers movie out in public. A la Sarah Sanders. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Remember the cast of Hamilton singling out Vice President Pence when he went to attend that show? Then the point of all of the singling out is to ostracize and to marginalize.
And to kick him out, which he eventually had to leave because it was a safety issue.
And to signal that it's okay to take pot shots. So, I mean, again, if the left is going, all their Democrat, Socialist, POTUS candidates are going to get away with this rap that's amplified by the D.C. press corps, that Trump's rhetoric on border security is responsible for El Paso, which is absurd, then how do those same individuals process these actions by their fellow travelers? How about the guy who attacked Rand Paul? He just lost like part of a kidney, wasn't it? Or part of his. It's another surgery after
surgery. Yeah.
Rand Paul being attacked in his yard. A 33-year-old resident of Norwalk, California, arrested for threatening to kill Trump's FCC Commission chairman, Ajit Pai, last year. Man arrested threatening to kill those who support President Trump, as well as Representative Lee Zeldin of New York. I could go on and on and on and on. And now we've got an example right here at home in Illinois. State Senator Marty Sandoval. Let's hear it for him. Take a look at this and make sure you share it liberally. I rarely ask anybody to do anything liberally. Share this liberally. Let's hold Marty Sandoval to account in a way that we know the D.C. press corps and their junior partners here in Chicago won't. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford. We're kicking off our Freedom Summit today.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Do you know there are now more than 2,000 classical Christian schools across the country? And do you wonder why so many parents are choosing classical schools for their children? Hello, this is Tom Stoner, head of school at Covenant Classical School in Naperville. Classical schooling is the way education used to be, when students read great literature and were challenged to think deeply about big ideas that have shaped our culture. In classical school, students learn Latin and Bible, they study math, science, and geography, and they learn to write clearly and speak well. Come take a look at Covenant Classical School in Naperville and find out why one of our current parents told me, "I knew nothing about classical schooling, but when I saw what was happening in the classroom, I fell in love with it." Learn more at our website, covenantclassicalschool.org. That's covenantclassicalschool.org.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know promotional products work because they're everywhere from sales meetings and corporate events to trade shows. Ever wondered why or how to best use promotional products to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away an ebook called Promotional Products Work, absolutely free, to everyone who texts radio to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free ebook will reveal valuable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, help your cause, or simply grow your business. Get the ebook Promotional Products Work absolutely free by texting radio to 88988. That's RADIO to 88988.
Sheet metal is a big part of commercial and industrial facilities. Look around your business and you'll quickly notice how many components use sheet metal. From fan systems and hoods to machinery guards and much more. For top quality sheet metal work, get to know the pros at Vans Industrial.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. Vans Industrial is an industrial sheet metal contractor that can fabricate all types of alloys up to 1-inch plate. We perform jobs including chutes, hoppers, stacks, siding, and dust collection. We work in material handling facilities including steel, chemical, agricultural, food processing plants, and more. Vans Industrial can also design and perform the engineering for a complete turnkey installation. Our quality work is installed by trained mechanics who will work closely with you to make sure the job is done right.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Jim Durkin, founding partner of the Martech Group, a global market research firm based in Chicago since 1985 and a longtime customer of Signature Bank. When our business moved to our current Loop location, I recall seeing Mick O'Rourke and his two business partners, Brian Duncan and Kevin Vestuga, laying the foundation for Signature Bank. When Signature opened its doors in 2006, I was proud to move our accounts there and become a shareholder. Being in the consulting business, the Martech Group has a keen understanding of the value of relationships, trust, and attentiveness. Whether dealing with our U.S. practice or our international operations, Signature Bank is always there when we need them. That's why the Martech Group is proud to have Signature Bank as a valued business partner.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So just another point of order on this Martin Sandoval story and this little fundraiser where they were having fun using an assault weapon, fake assault weapon. I thought they want to ban them.
Yeah,
to point at a mock of President Trump. College Republicans of Southern Illinois at Edwardsville are calling on State Senator Martin Sandoval to resign. The kids have more courage and are more on the stick than what passes for the leadership of the defunct Illinois Republican Party. College Republicans of Southern Illinois at Edwardsville. Folks, we've officially contacted Capitol Police as well as the Secret Service in regards to the events that unfolded at State Senator Martin Sandoval's fundraiser this week. Call his office, 217-782-5304, and respectfully demand his resignation. I'll retweet this out, too. Pass on the Martin Sandoval story.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I guess MF for Spice really didn't want to see her grandmother in the West Bank after all at 5:38.
And later, another edition of Why Dan Proft is Single. But first, let's get back into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
69 degrees at 5:32. The British territory of Gibraltar is rejecting a U.S. demand to detain an Iranian oil tanker. That tanker left Gibraltar weeks after being seized by British Royal Marines over concerns it was illegally carrying oil to Syria. ISIS claiming responsibility for a suicide attack in Afghanistan that killed 63 at a packed wedding reception Saturday, 180 wounded. An Ohio man scheduled to face a judge today accused of making threats against the Jewish Community Center nearby where he lived. The FBI saying James Reardon posted video online in which he identified himself as the gunman at a local synagogue, even though the shooting never took place.
This Instagram video tipped off authorities. The self-proclaimed white nationalist is seen firing shots, tagging the local Jewish Community Center.
When police searched his mother's home, they found a number of guns, a bulletproof vest, and numerous magazines and rounds of ammunition. Police in Portland, Oregon arrest 13 during a weekend of demonstrations the city had been bracing for. 5 were treated for injuries. President Trump went on the Sunday talkies, not worried, he says, about the U.S. economy sliding into a recession.
And most economists actually say, Phil, that we're not going to have a recession. Most of them are saying we're not going to have a recession, but the rest of the world is not doing well like we're doing.
Even though the president claimed the world is in a recession right now, and most experts agree, the 2020 Democrat presidential hopeful Pete Buttigieg of South Bend, Indiana, believes the U.S. economy is not working for most.
There's a big debate going on right now over whether we're on the cusp of a recession. I think we probably are, but the more important thing is even during an expansion, most Americans haven't been able to get ahead.
On CNN's State of the Union. Also this morning, a Crown Point, Indiana teen is saved after she went missing over the weekend, and a man, Alexander Curry Fishtorn, has been taken into custody. Bail denied. A man accused of shooting an Illinois police state trooper last week in Wheeling. Voldemir Dragon appeared in court over the weekend on an attempted murder charge. Democrat state senator apologizing after pictures of a fake assassination of President Trump went viral. Senator Marty Sandoval posted the pictures last week, and one shows a man with a fake rifle shooting another man dressed in a Trump mask. In his apology, Sandoval said he does not condone violence toward anyone. Justin Thomas won the BMW Championship, shooting a 468 in the final round Sunday at Medina. Cubs cruise past the Pirates, Angels over the White Sox in Anaheim, and the Bears are giving Eddie Pinheiro the kicking job, at least for now. He's the only kicker left on the roster after Chicago gave the boot to Elliott Fry. 5:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group of Bartlett, Charles Equipment Energy Systems, Independent Health Insurance Agent Tom Mirabaldi, Clear Financial Strategies, and by Monarch Technical.
Every commercial building has one. It's the first impression. It matters to people who visit your building. It matters to the people who work there. And it should matter to you. Get a quote. It's your parking lot. It speaks volumes about the commercial building and the business. Get a great parking lot. GreatParkingLots.com.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great.
GreatParkingLots.com. Decades of experience making Chicagoland parking lots great. Great Parking Lots is an industry leader in seal coating. They use a process that not only works great, but is made to last longer. It's a good parking lot investment. And you can do business with a company that shares your values. Great Parking Lots.
I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out, greatparkinglots.com.
Commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. Get a great parking lot. Just remember, greatparkinglots.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Dear Bosley, when my dad lost his hair, it made him very sad. He doesn't like the way he looks. I heard you were very good at hair. Please give my dad his hair back. Love, Maddie.
Well, Maddie, today's a wish come true for your dad and every guy listening with hair loss, because Bosley's about to give them their real hair back permanently. They'll get a free information kit and a free gift card when they text GOOD to 85850. Guys, let Bosley show you for free how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee.
Thank you, Bosley.
Get your hair back today with America's #1 hair restoration expert. Get a free information kit and a free gift card for $250 off by texting GOOD to 85850. That's GOOD to 85850.
5:37 a.m. 560 traffic center time. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Airport traffic is growing at O'Hare. Westbound 190 traffic is slow now from the Kennedy Expressway to Mannheim. Expect the delays there to increase in the next 30 to 60 minutes. Kennedy itself still looks okay right now. The traffic is getting a bit more congested, especially on the outbound side. Inbound, the express lanes are open. We see no delays. The express lanes or the locals. Aiden's is fine. Eisenhower as well. Inbound Stevenson traffic is now tight. Cicero to Kedzie. 37 minutes is the drive time. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Inbound Ryan traffic just a bit tight approaching the Burn Circle. Inbound Bishop Ford, a crash blocking the ramp to eastbound 130th clear. That's traffic. I'm Jim Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next from our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. We see partly sunny and warmer conditions. Humid today, high 85. Busy day expected up at Six Flags. The last rush before school begins this week for many. Partly cloudy, 68 overnight, 86 tomorrow. 69 at O'Hare, 72 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
Don't miss Sean Hannity, Michelle Malkin, and Laura Logan at Freedom Summit 2019. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're broadcasting live this morning from Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream. Our friends at Joe Cotton Ford. Happy to be here again, and we're kicking off our Freedom Summit 2019 extravaganza. We've got our lineup set, and tickets are available.
Yes, and if you want to win some free tickets, come on down here to Joe Cotton Ford on North Avenue here and sign up to win 2 free tickets to Freedom Summit. It is going to be November 2nd at the Chicago Westin, Northwest, and Itasca. Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Laura Logan. Am I pronouncing her name correctly?
Laura Logan.
Laura Logan. Sebastian Gorka, Molly Hemingway, and many, many more. So go to freedomsummitchicago.com, freedomsummitchicago.com. Get your tickets because this event always sells out.
Invited but not confirmed, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. So we'll let you know if they decide to show up. But Rashida Tlaib not availing herself of the offer from Prime Minister Netanyahu.
I told you she wouldn't leave if her girlfriend or BFF wasn't going either.
Not going to visit her grandmother, 90-year-old grandmother in the West Bank. Apparently, the only reason she wanted to go, she said, was to visit her grandmother. And that's not the only reason, because that was extended and she's not going. And here's Rashida Tlaib explaining her position and rejection of the offer extended by the State of Israel.
I don't know what to tell you. This is a country that has just made a huge error, I believe, and they're going to probably have to pay the cost of it. A number of my colleagues are very much taken aback by this, very angry by this decision. It's unfortunate because, we see Israel as a democracy, as a democratic country, but it's very obvious that they're trying to limit what I'm able to do when I get there. I mean, my goal is to see my grandmother. Again, she's in her 90s. This could be my last chance to see. I'm going to continue to fight back and demand that they provide access for me and any of my colleagues to come to Israel, into the Palestinian areas, and be able to listen to hear people.
Well, a couple of things. I mean, she restated she just wants to see her grandmother, except she clearly doesn't just want to see her grandmother because she's allowed to see her grandmother, but she doesn't want to.
Well, they told her that she'd have to agree to not promote boycotts against Israel during her trip. And she said that you should describe that as oppressive conditions, Dan.
Okay.
So her hate for Israel really has overcome her love for her grandmother. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment.
The Babylon Bee story, now this is, again, for you not familiar with the Babylon Bee, it's sort of like the conservative version of The Onion. Babylon Bee's story on this, the headline, women who don't believe Israel has a right to exist, not sure why they got banned from Israel. See, Tlaib and Omar have become impossible to parody. That's not a parody. That's just a statement of fact. That's exactly what this story is. And also women who run afoul of Israel's policy with respect to granting access to people who support the Hamas-backed, terrorist-backed boycott, divestment, and sanction movement are not afforded entrance. So what's the controversy? By the way, it turns out that Grandmama.
Oh, Grandmama was interviewed too by a West Bank reporter, and she had no kind words for President Trump.
Yeah, may God ruin him.
May God ruin him. Yeah.
So that's, I guess, Rashida Tlaib, MF for Spice's disposition runs in the family. Boy, who would have thunk it?
Well, at this Shabbat in the Park Saturday event that they created because, as a way to ease her pain because she wasn't going to Israel, she was brought to tears.
Oh, thank you. Shabbat shalom. Salam alaikum. Hello. I should be on a plane to see her, but you all gave me even more love today. Thank you for uplifting peace, love, and justice. Thank you. Thank you for not politicizing what's happened to me because I'm still a granddaughter.
Yeah. I wish she would have been able to make it over because I would have loved to hear her, and maybe she can respond here, to the Palestinian Authorities banning all LGBT members from activities in the West Bank. What say you? MF for Spice, Brotherly Love Spice, End of the World Spice, Francis Parker Spice. Palestinian Authority, the state that doesn't exist, you wish it was a state, you wish Israel wasn't a state, banning all LGBT members from activities in the West Bank. Huh. Tlaib also released a photograph of her other grandmama. And this one looks worse than Larry Johnson in a dress as well. Yeah, saying she was proud of being she was one fierce woman. Tlaib from Jerusalem Post. Tlaib often mentioned her living grandmother, lives in the West Bank, but this seems to be the first time she's discussed her other one. Yeah, so I don't know. We're getting the full.
President Trump, he tweeted, Rep. Tlaib wrote a letter to Israeli officials desperately wanting to visit her grandmother. Permission was quickly granted, whereupon Tlaib obnoxiously turned the approval down. A complete setup. The only real winner here is Tlaib's grandmother. She doesn't have to see her now.
I love
Exclamation point.
Hashtag my Palestinian city is trending on Twitter. City is Arabic for grandmother. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's I guess the Twitter trending is what Tlaib was really emotional about. It's a very poignant moment when she's trending on Twitter. That's very important to the Socialist Spice Girls as I can discern it.
It turns it political when she does have the chance to go see her grandmother and she can't go. Or was the whole point of her trip
Of course.
to try to get an Israeli boycott going?
That's the whole point of their existence.
Right. Well,
largely.
would she have to pay for the trip herself so it wasn't official business because it just had to be personal? If I were her, I still would have gone. Definitely.
Again, AIPAC sided with the Socialist Spice Girls on and against the State of Israel's decision not to allow them entrance except for this humanitarian purpose of Tlaib seeing her grandmother. And I get their perspective. They want ignorant members of Congress to be educated to experience Israel. So that makes some sense. So I can understand AIPAC's perspective. But I also certainly understand the state of Israel's perspective and their sort of stated position. We discussed this with Rich Lowry on Friday as well. Their stated position about people who support terrorist-backed activities against the state of Israel and against Jewish people generally and Jewish organizations generally. So, you know what? Frankly, it's one of the reasons you like Bibi is because he'll draw a line and he'll man it. And so many politicians in this country won't. Dan and Amy, coming to you from Joe Cotton Ford and Carol Stream. We're kicking off our Freedom Summit today.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Nothing speaks louder about an auto dealer than a happy customer. And at Joe Cotton Ford, they have many.
I had a 2001 Excursion, was about 6 months old. We got T-boned, $29,000 worth of damage, bent the frame. After a few months, got it back from you guys, and it actually drove and rode better than when I got it from the factory. Well, service visits are always top-notch. You know, your service department, starting with Dave and going down all your service riders, are just amazing.
Another reason why folks keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Joe Cotton Ford crushes the competition with a first-time ever 20% off new Fords. Yes, 20% off Fusion, 20% off EcoSport, 20% off Escape Edge and F-150. Don't miss this one. 20% off is huge. No hype and no pressure. It's why generations of customers keep coming back for a truly different vehicle buying experience. Joe Cotton Ford, Gary and North Avenue and Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com. joecottonford.com.
Hey, if you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, then dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, and your dental health. Hey, Sean Hannity here. So what are you waiting for? Find out now if implants are for you. Successful implants don't come from an implant factory. Skill, treatment, installation, those are the main differences for successful lifelong implants. That's why you need to see Dr. Neruzzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Neruzzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants themselves. You need the experience, the skill, and honesty that over 25 years of dental implants brings, and you're going to be happy with your implant. It's not a mass production procedure because everyone is different. And Dr. Neruzzi wants to talk to you about dental implants today.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics at 630-232-7400. They're online at implantsforme.com.
Got tax problems? Want to get the IRS off your ASS? Whether you're an individual or business and are having problems with the IRS, have PJN Tax Solutions Group help you solve your problems. PJN Tax Solutions Group specializes in providing affordable solutions to businesses and individuals like you who, for whatever reason, find themselves at odds with the IRS. They'll represent you in front of the IRS, allowing you to continue on with your life. You won't have to speak with an IRS agent. PJN Tax Solutions Group puts experts to work to solve your tax problems quickly and affordably. They offer a free consultation to review your case and explain your options. Would you go to court without an attorney? Then why would you represent yourself before the IRS? Call PJN Tax Solutions Group today at 630-415-5296 or visit their website at pjntaxsolutions.com. PJN Tax Solutions Group. They're the rescue squad for troubled taxpayers.
Restaurants come and go. Very few last. When you find a restaurant that served margaritas, fun, and fantastic food for over 2 decades, you can bet it's great.
That's the one-of-a-kind landmark Cafe Salsa Mexican Grill and Tequila Bar in Countryside. Cafe Salsa offers daily lunch specials, happy hour in the bar, half-price house margaritas on Wednesdays, and on Monday and Tuesday, 2 for $22 dinner specials. Ready to eat? Try Mexican-inspired influences on traditional fare, like Cafe Salsa's margarita salmon, honey chipotle glazed pork chops, and amazing carne asada with mushroom salsa. Plus, fajitas, a fantastic selection of quesadillas, many flavorful steak and chicken dishes, and shrimp tacos, hot off the wood-fired grill. Cafe Salsa's dining room is perfect for birthdays and family get-togethers. Check out their complete menu at cafesalsa.com or call 708-352-5100.
Make your plans for lunch or dinner today at Cafe Salsa, 55th Street and LaGrange Road in Countryside, cafesalsa.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream. Our friends at Joe Cotton Ford, we're back, and we're kicking off our Freedom Summit. Tickets have just gone on sale to the public. Premium tickets already sold out, I'm led to believe.
Really?
Wow, that was fast.
So get on it. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. And come on down here to Joe Cotton Ford. We'll be here all morning long and enter a chance to win free tickets to Freedom Summit.
November 2nd.
November 2nd, yes, at the Chicago Westin Northwest in Itasca.
All right. President Trump in Manchester, New Hampshire on Thursday night, rally. And we gotta deal with this moment again. This is just so funny. One of those incidents that happens at Trump rallies where you have some protesters being disruptive.
Yeah, and being escorted out, but Trump always calls them out and they have a little interaction.
Right, stops, looks and listens, and then comments. And this is how that went in Manchester.
That guy's got a serious weight problem. Go home, start exercising. Get him out of here, please.
He just assumed he was.
Got a bigger problem than I do. Got a bigger problem than all of us. Now he goes home and his mom says, "What the hell have you just done?"
There's something, he does have certain comedic timing with incidents like that where he can ad-lib. Got a bigger problem than me?
Than me. But you know what?
Got a bigger problem than all of us. It's a unifying moment.
Then automatically he lives with his mom in the basement. I mean, just right off the bat.
Love it. So the gentleman he was speaking to is Frank Dawson, who is a veteran, 30-plus years in law enforcement.
And not 30-plus pounds overweight.
Well, he and
in
it
shape.
Well, it turns out he misidentified Dawson as being the person who is being disruptive rather than a person who is trying to deal with the disruptors. But listen to Frank Dawson's response to being called out by Trump in that way, ridiculed by Trump in that way when he did an interview with Fox.
Turns out he was talking to you. He was, because he didn't see me rip the signs away from those three people that were sitting near us. And they were trying to cause a ruckus, and they jumped up and they start yelling something. I don't even care what they were yelling, but it wasn't going to happen beside me because I'm trying to listen to my president. But I think he thought I was part of it, but I wasn't. I was the good part of it. What did he say to you? He said, "Hey, that guy needs to lose a little weight." Everything's good. I love the guy. He's the best thing that ever happened in this country.
I love that. I just love the reaction. I love the response. He poked fun at me. Hey, he got the wrong guy. I don't care. I still love the guy. I love what he's doing. I mean, whether you like Trump or not, I just love the reaction that, there's somebody who's an adult who has a little bit of thick skin, and he can take being called out without crumpling into a puddle of tears, or calling that saying he's been subjected to a hate crime, or he was bullied by the president at his rally. Not to mention with that Pakya Khan, the carport accent, he deserves to be called out. God, I hate that accent.
I know, it's the worst. It's bad.
It's terrible. Terrible. So anyway, the Trump rally in Manchester, I just thought it was such a fun moment. And the D.C. press corps hyperventilating about it. He got the wrong guy. He ridiculed a man who was not responsible for the disruption at his event. Oh my gosh, he attacked a veteran and a retired law enforcement professional. And you go to the guy, and he couldn't care any less. He loved being there. He wanted to hear President Trump and what he had to say. The fact that he misidentified him, so what?
So what? Who
It's
cares?
not about Frank Dawson. It's about what Trump is trying to do for this country, at least from Frank Dawson's perspective. It's just, I don't know, it's just nice to see and hear from an adult at one of these things. I just thought the moment Trump makes a mistake and how the D.C. press corps covered it versus how an actual three-dimensional human being responded to it, I think is so instructive.
And he was fun too. He's like, "I don't have a weight problem." I saw him, in a different interview, and he spun around for the camera.
Sure.
Like,
turn around.
Check this backside out, baby. Yeah, am I right?
That's the workout.
Tight. Yeah.
Try and keep it together. Love it. Frank Dawson and Donald Trump. They should take this act on the road. He should invite, if he's smart, invite Frank Dawson to the next rally. And have him be, give him a front row seat or whatever seat he wants. Maybe he wants to be in the back there so it can be in the camera
I loved
shot.
at the rally when he, it ran by he did a little marketing research project while at the rally about MAGA and CAG, Keep America Great, as opposed to MAGA.
But do we give up Make America Great Again for Keep Keep America great. Keep America great.
I think they've more or less communicated with whatever he can. So keep America great. It's dangerous because dangerous for the left because wasn't one of their criticisms America was always great or America was never great or what is it? I don't know, but that's going to befuddle them. CAG.
And get a CAG, so turn in your MAGA for a CAG hat.
Well, I mean, it's smart because you won't have to. You need a new product line. You got to
Right.
keep the merchandising going. So you can get the vintage MAGA hats and MAGA wear, or you can get the CAG wear. The CAG wear, like maybe a second generation MAGA wear, should come like with body armor and like a plastic
shield, like
face shield,
Vistiviano shield.
Yeah, right, like the welder's mask. Exactly. I mean, what we're seeing on the streets of Portland and what we're hearing from responsible legislators at every level and leftists at every level. I don't know. We're going to talk about this at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. Fascinating over the weekend. The unrest in Portland. Not too much violence, thankfully, but there was still a little bit.
Yeah, 13 injured, 6 arrested.
The Antifa thugs waving Soviet flags, 1.7 million Hong Kongans waving American flags in the largest protest in Hong Kong against the Chinese government. You know, we did this thing on Friday where we suggested maybe we could, since this rumor came out that Trump was looking into buying Greenland, and I suggested maybe we could just do it just straight up Greenland for the state of Illinois, even though we have like 400x their GDP. Still willing to go straight up. Maybe we could do Portland for Hong Kong. Maybe Xi would be willing to deal. Maybe we could get Fred Armisen and company to throw in the intellectual property rights for Portlandia, too, to sweeten the pot for Xi. Maybe that's how we get to a deal on China and trade. I don't know.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk about the unrest in Baltimore and the Antifa thugs at 6:06.
But first, here is Mike Scott.
Here are the stories we're following this morning on AM 560. The Answer. A missing Crown Point, Indiana girl found safe in Arkansas. A porch collapse on the south side leaves one man seriously hurt. Former Bears running back killed in a motorcycle crash in Texas. Bail denied for a man charged with shooting a state police officer in Wheeling. Justin Thomas wins the BMW Championship at Medina. Cubs cruise past the Buccos in Williamsport, and the Angels hammer the White Sox. Partly sunny in your forecast today, warm and humid. WIND Chicago News Time. It is 6 o'clock.
Warning signs for the economy. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. About a third of economists surveyed by the National Association for Business Economics say they expect a recession next year or in 2021. But President Trump says that's not going to happen. In D.C., Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Chris, returning to Washington yesterday, the president dismissed concerns about a recession, telling reporters we're doing tremendously well.
Our consumers are rich. I gave a tremendous tax cut, and they're loaded up with money.
On NBC's Meet the Press, 2020 Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke said the trade war with China is hurting America's farmers and global markets.
I'm afraid that this president is driving the global economy and our economy into recession.
President Trump has maintained the tariffs on China are working, but he's not yet ready to make a deal. Chris?
Rachel, President Trump confirms that he'd be interested in the United States buying Greenland. Denmark's prime minister, though, calls the idea absurd.
Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen saying Greenland is not for sale and adding, I strongly hope that this is not meant seriously, although she acknowledged that the Arctic, with its natural resources, is becoming increasingly important. President Trump says the US would be interested in buying Greenland, the world's largest island and Danish territory. But he says any such move is not an immediate priority. He's set to visit Denmark next month. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
Great Britain's Prince Andrew Once friends with the accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein has released a statement denying suggestions that he may have been involved with underage girls, saying he's appalled by reports of Epstein's crimes. The Mail on Sunday newspaper put out a video of the prince at Epstein's home in New York waving goodbye to a young woman. Epstein killed himself last weekend. At least 9 people are hurt by a fallen tree hit by lightning at a swim club in Feasterville, Traverse, Pennsylvania. That's about 20 miles from Philadelphia. America's listening to Fox News.
69 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. And good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A Crown Point, Indiana teen is safe after she went missing over the weekend. Madison Edelman was located safe in Arkansas yesterday, and a man, Alexander Curry Fishtorn, has been taken into custody. A statewide Amber Alert was issued after the 16-year-old disappeared Saturday morning in Crown Point. Authorities say they're working to secure charges against Curry Fishtorn over his involvement in the girl's disappearance. A 41-year-old man was shot and killed Sunday night near Calumet Beach on the south side. According to Chicago police, the victim was sitting on the ground next to a playground on South Creeley Drive when a 25-year-old man approached him and shot him twice in the stomach. He was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center in serious condition, where he later died. The mother of an Indiana man is killed in an officer-involved shooting says the Gary Police Department story doesn't add up. Rashad Cunningham's family has hired a lawyer in hopes of getting answers after the 25-year-old was fatally shot outside of his Gary, Indiana home early Saturday morning. A man is seriously hurt after the porch he was standing on collapsed on the south side, the victim tumbling 20 feet to the ground. After the porch gave way, the man was rushed to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn in serious condition. The Bears are expressing their condolences over the death of former player Cedric Benson. Former Bears #1 draft pick was killed in a motorcycle crash Saturday night in Austin, Texas. Justin Thomas won the BMW Championship. 3-shot victory over Patrick Cantley, who shot a 65 on the final day. Anthony Rizzo's 2-run home run helped the Cubs over the Pirates 7-1, while the Angels beat the White Sox 9-2. The news, a service of LifeLock with Norton. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is compromising their smartphone. That is why LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com and use promo code RISK to get 10% off your first year. 6:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated, HealthInsuranceMentors.com, Cromweedy Roofing, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mark Weingart, President and CEO of Star Creations, Inc., the fastest-growing supplier of wall decor products in the U.S. When it comes to banking, I don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. That's why I bank at Signature Bank Chicago. At Signature Bank, every customer is important. I know I can pick up the phone and talk to any one of the decision makers I know and trust at Signature Bank. At Signature Bank, they understand and respond to the unique needs of my business with flexibility and fairness. I'm proud to bank with Signature Bank because I know they're deeply invested in the success of Star Creations.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire.
6:07 AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Eisenhower traffic is jammed. Manheim to Austin, where a crash blocks the left lane. It is an hour and 2 minutes from 390 to downtown, 49 minutes from Manheim, outbound 30 minutes to 390. The Edens is okay. Kennedy, 24 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 32. We see additional delays at O'Hare on westbound 190 going into the airport. Kennedy to Manheim. About Stevenson, it's heavy early 1st Avenue to Kedzie, 49 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Bryant, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 16 minutes, I-80 to the Marriage Bishop Ford, 18. Tollways are okay, and Northwest Indiana looks good. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A warm and humid day. It'll be partly sunny. The high today, 85. Partly cloudy tonight and a low 68. Clouds and sun. Another warm and humid day tomorrow. Shower and thunderstorm for the late afternoon. The high tomorrow, 86. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
68 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
If it hadn't been for Joe Cotton Ford, I'd still be driving a beautiful car. Now we go live to Dan and Amy, broadcasting from Joe Cotton Ford.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, we're live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream, kicking off our Freedom Summit. Tickets go on sale to you in the public, you publicans, this morning. And we've got our lineup set, and Amy needs a new car. Per the song, you need a new car from Joe Cotton Ford.
Yeah, I sure do. So come down to Joe Cotton Ford. Come say hello to us. Enter a chance to win free tickets to Freedom Summit, which is coming November 2nd at the Chicago Westin. You want to know who's starting? Starting center is going to be Sebastian Gorka.
A little undersized.
Yeah, Sean Hannity, small forward, definitely. Point guard, Lara Logan for sure. Shooting guard, Michelle Malkin. Molly Hemingway and Carrie Severino will be on the bench. The authors of Justice on Trial. Rusty Reno will be here, Ed Morrissey, and Will Chamberlain of Human Events. So get your tickets. Do not wait. This event always sells out. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com, freedomsummitchicago.com.
I was a Democrat my whole life until the last 2 years, writes Ryan Moore in the Des Moines Register. I occasionally had political arguments with conservative friends, family, and coworkers, but we were civil and we remained friends. I never hated anyone or tried to get someone fired for their personal political views. Now I'm a member of a highly persecuted group. After I came out as a conservative, everything changed. In America today, most conservatives feel they must either keep their political views private or not reveal who they are employed by, or they know the liberal mob will come after them. Never been a fan of political correctness, but I've always been a fan of civility and being respectful of individuals whose opinions differ from mine. Doesn't understand why social media unleashes people's worst instincts to just let it all fly in the most grotesque fashion. What has happened to the Democrat Party, to which Ryan Moore was a member until 2 years ago? It seems everything it disagrees with, it claims is racist or a symbol of hate. First, Democrats claimed the Make America Great Again hat was a symbol of hate. Now some Democrats are saying the American flag is a symbol of hate.
Yep.
It's true.
Very well put.
Many instances where conservatives not allowed to speak on college campuses, numerous attempts to get Fox News and other conservative shows off the air. Far too many Democrats believe the First Amendment only applies to the opinions they agree with. I'm not saying that only the left is to blame for the lack of civility, but in all my years as an outspoken liberal, no one attacked me as viciously as the left does now for my political opinions. I thought the left was in favor of tolerance and diversity. Let go of your hate. Live and let live. Ryan Moore, just sort of striking a bit of a common sense, everyman note. And this is what he's describing the Democrat socialists have become is the best friend of Donald Trump right now. Their extremism, their intolerance, their tolerance for violence, and tolerance generally of opposing views, as he was suggesting, their tolerance for violence will be their political undoing. We certainly hope. And that was on display again this weekend in where else? Portland. Ground zero for Antifa. Like Antifa in Portland is like the shadow government. It's remarkable. And there were competing protests, rallies. Nobody there was a particularly redeemable sort, at least in terms of the groups that were organized, the competing rallies. I'm not a proponent of the Proud Boys.
And what exactly are the Proud Boys? Like some white supremacy group?
White nationalist-ish group.
Okay.
I don't exactly know, but I've seen some of their conduct at some of their rallies and events, and it's not redeemable. But peaceful protests shouldn't be met with hammers, and Antifa brought out the hammers to attack the Proud Boys. This is one example. The counter-protesters getting on a bus and the black-clad Antifa thugs bum-rushing the bus and trying to hit counter-protesters with a hammer. Pull him out.
He's got a hammer! Hey, no hammers! Oh! Sorry, my language, he threw a hammer.
Sorry for my language, he threw a hammer. That's understandable in the context. I remember it was just 6 weeks ago that they brutally beat a journalist, Andy No, on the streets of Portland. Beat him to, he had a brain hemorrhage.
Right.
Fortunately, he's okay. Brain hemorrhage. Then there was this incident. This is a sort of an interesting incident. One of these black-clad thugs, takes a MAGA hat off one of the counter-protesters. And this black dude comes up to the Antifa thug and tries to wrestle the hat away, and he's trying to reason with him. Like, dude, you're not allowed to do that. What are you doing?
Give him his stuff back.
This is really interesting. Yeah. This black dude that was trying to wrestle the hat away, and it was so like grade school. Like the thug wouldn't let go of the hat, and they just sort of kept going round and round while everybody's circling around trying to respond to the very simple point that the black dude was making, which is, in protest, say whatever you want. You don't have a right to take somebody else's property. What a concept.
Oh, yeah, touch it. No, just chill. I'm not touching nobody. No, you're good. You're good. No, I'm talking about this. Sir. No, here you go. Chill. Read officer, please relax. It's okay. Don't let hatred be in your heart. It's okay. Just let go. Just take a deep breath. Just let it go. The hatred is not embedded within us. It's created. I like this guy, bro. He's wise as give birth to hatred. Hell yeah, just get back the hat. No. Why? What cause? What cause? Let go of it. Why does it cost something? What is the cost of it? At what cost does hatred come? At what cost? Let go of it. At what cost, my sir? That's all I'm asking. Let go of it. You have brought me no facts. This is not yours. It's not yours either. I didn't take it off of your head. Let go of it. Now, at what right does that give you any right to take off somebody else's head that does not see it in your perspective? Let go of it. I'm just curious. I'm trying to set wrongs. I'm trying to ask questions and gain knowledge. Why?
Hey, everybody. I'm wondering if they
I'm not fighting. I'm being very serious.
I totally believe you. I believe that no one's fighting. I'm just trying to de-escalate this situation right now because we are surrounded
You snatched it out of my.
You
snatched it out of my hand. I did not snatch it.
No one of these cameras with like a bunch of random people.
Random people. Could you just de-escalate this, please?
Yeah, you're trying. The Antifa chick who said she's trying to de-escalate it. You're the ones running around taking people's property off their heads. Not to mention the hammer throwing contest as well. That's not the way you de-escalate the situation. It's just sort of interesting to watch this play out. The level of ignorance you're dealing with. Now, remember, these black-clad thugs are waving Soviet flags.
Right. And one even had one on his helmet when Sarah Cinder from CNN interviewed him, and she talked about, you guys are violent, right? And they pretty much agreed.
Certainly there is violence in Antifa because our goal is to stop fascism by any means, but we're not being aggressive, I don't think. I think it's mostly defensive, like when a Proud Boy tries to come hit us, we'll fight back. We're not here to start fights. We're not here to rabble rouse. We're just here to block the Proud Boys from, unfurling their banners and spreading their ideas.
Spreading their ideas. So they're using violence because they're exercising their First Amendment right for free speech.
Well,
they don't like that, Dan. So
Deb Haaland, she's a Democrat rep from New Mexico. She was on CNN as well to run interference for the Antifa thugs.
So, this is on par with what the president does. He sides with the white supremacists. He sides with the white nationalists, with the domestic terrorists in our country, just as, he's incited violence against people of color. Portland is a progressive city. They want to ensure that they keep their city moving forward. It's not surprising that Trump would side away from the folks who are the peaceful protesters working to safeguard their city from domestic terrorism. Just not surprised at all that the president sides with the white nationalists. That's been his mode of operation since before he was elected president.
So just so we understand the position, this is a Democrat socialist member of Congress, part of the Democrat caucus, who is saying that Trump's rhetoric is responsible for El Paso, effectively, and Antifa's actual beating of people in the streets of Portland, like journalist Andy No, that is them peacefully combating domestic terrorism. I just want to make sure you understand the arguments and what is being said here, and you decide whether that is tenable or not. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And the Congresswoman was in part responding to President Trump's tweet about Antifa that the White House is watching. We're watching, and they may be considered a domestic terrorist group. And then the dum-dums at CNN and MSNBC, there is no precedent for designating a domestic group, a domestic terrorist group, and so on and so forth. Forget the designation. There's a process over substance in the reporting, of course. The point is, will the FBI, and by the way, Christopher Wray and others have testified about groups like Antifa, just as they've testified about white supremacist groups engaged in acts of domestic terrorism, and that they are watching, and that they have investigators assigned. And so that's the point. Forget the Antifa making some sort of list. Who cares? The point is that federal law enforcement is looking at a thuggish fascist group like Antifa and treating them the same way that you would treat fascist white supremacist dum-dums who think that they can stop other people from expressing their opinions by throwing hammers at them.
Well, and back to that CNN interview with Sarah Sidner and these two young people who, one girl looks prepubescent. She even said she's a minor. That's why she wears a mask. But who's your leader, folks?
The main reason we wear masks is so that when the Proud Boys see us, they don't dox us or release our information and identify us, because we don't want people coming to our houses and interfering with our personal lives.
Sure, that's
so
what you do.
It's not because we want to mix it up with the police or whatever. It's just so that we can protect ourselves.
Same for you, because a lot of people are criticizing, look, the police can't identify you, so therefore, if there is some trouble, they can't see your face.
I'd like to add that I'm a minor, so if cops show up at if Proud Boys show up at my door, that would be particularly bad. I don't want them harassing me. I don't want I don't want to die. I don't want them killing me.
These two kids were just, it's unbelievable to me that they've been brainwashed and they're in this, essentially it seemed like a cult to me.
That's our bag. We're the ones who do the doxing and the harassing and the beating. We don't want the competition, is essentially what they're saying. The definitive tweet on this,
yes, sir,
not surprisingly, comes from
Iowa Hawkeye,
anti-Semitic P-Hat March organizer Linda Sarsour. I'm not trying to be Captain Obvious here, but Antifa equals anti-fascist. Opposite of anti-fascist is fascist or pro-fascist. You're either anti-fascist or not. Simple as that. Aren't you just the sweetest thing? But I'll tell you what, it's a wonderful, wonderful encapsulation of the cultural Marxist. You want to know what a cultural Marxist is? Linda Sarsour. You are who you say you are, even if science, even if your behavior, even if your performance indicates otherwise. That's the cultural Marxist. That's on display for all of those running interference, serving as apologists for street thugs, whether it's Congresswoman Haaland or anti-Semitic P-Hat March organizer Sarsour. John and Palatine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Dan, I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit when the Antifa person said that they're against anti-fascism, or they're against fascism, when it seems to me like all of their tactics and antics are very fascist in and of themselves. They seem like fascists to me, but I don't know now.
Yeah, thanks for the call, John. Right. We'll judge you by what you do, not who you say you are. So what are they doing? They're engaged in thuggery in various forms. By the way, that whole, we dress in black and we cover our faces so that we're not doxxed or harassed by Proud Boys. Or is it so it's
she
more...
She said cops, and then she's like, I mean Proud Boys.
Or is it more so the point that, yes, you're trying to be indistinguishable as it pertains to law enforcement. So, for example, when you beat up Andy No on the streets of Portland, I will say again, because if it was a reporter beaten up by MAGA-wearing Trump supporters, we would never hear the end of it. It would be the lead for weeks and weeks on end in every D.C. press corps outlet. This Andy No story barely got any mention from the D.C. press corps, particularly outside of Fox. No one has been arrested in the Andy No beating.
Still?
No one's been arrested. And this dopey mayor of Portland, of course, he's sort of a caricature of Kyle MacLachlan rather than Kyle MacLachlan being a caricature of the Portland mayor in Portlandia. That's how bad it is. He thought yesterday was successful and that Proud Boys were marginalized. No comment on Antifa. There's no standard with the left. You can take a standard and you can apply it equally to Proud Boys when they engage in boorish, thuggish behavior, to Antifa, which is their feature. That's what they feature. This isn't something that just happens. This is their point, as you essentially had that Antifa goof that you just heard from suggest and then sort of cobble together about we only do defensive action type violence. Bull jive. We know it's a lie. Members of Congress know it's a lie, and yet they flack for them. Why? Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carol Stream. We're kicking off Freedom Summit ticket sales today.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
One of the biggest fears for retirees and soon-to-be retirees, do I have enough? Do I have enough money to last for the rest of my life? I hear it every day when I meet with individuals, and it's for good reason. Check this statistic out. If you were born in 1800, you could expect to live until you were 39 years old. In 1900, 49. That number jumped to 68 in 1950, and today it's 79. How many people do you know that are in their 80s, in their 90s? Hi, this is Tom Fortino, host of the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard every Saturday at 9 a.m. here on AM 560. So how do you help ensure you never run out of money in retirement? The answers are in our special report, Maximizing Income in Retirement. In this powerful report, you'll discover successful tools and strategies on how to help turbocharge your income in retirement and how to position and protect your money regardless of what happens in the stock market. Call now to receive this report, Maximizing Income in Retirement, and will include 6 strategies to tax-free income. Call the Alpha Beautiful Wealth Group, 630-519-4742 right now to receive your free report. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Hey, summer is in full effect. Oh, it's not over yet, folks. And the hot weather, humid weather, maybe you're feeling a little run down. Well, you're definitely not getting enough fruits and veggies at those summer barbecues, hot dogs, beer, brats. You need to do what I started doing, and that's take Balance of Nature. Our bodies need fruits and vegetables. And when you take just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies. It really is that easy and convenient. And if you listen to the station, I know you've heard people talk about how Balance of Nature has literally changed their lives, and it can do the same for you. So start living a healthier life today by taking Balance of Nature. Experience the difference for yourself. And right now, 25% off, free shipping, plus they'll throw in a set of convenient travel bottles that contain a free additional week supply of Balance of Nature. 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
Hey, my friend's retail store was the victim of IoT password theft.
Yep. Cyber criminals are taking over security cameras, payment systems, and other IoT devices by exploiting vulnerabilities.
What if they target us and our dispersed network?
We're secured with Barracuda. We have advanced firewalls for our sites, enhanced security for our cloud infrastructure, and total email protection.
Such a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents and Doug.
Limu, there's a woman threatening to sign up for generic car insurance. Grab your birdseed and let's go.
I'm gonna sign these papers right here, right now.
Ma'am, drop the pen. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Thanks, Limu, Emu, and Doug.
Don't thank us, thank Liberty Mutual. But also thank us.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer. State laws apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Equity has no home here. A new report on the Chicago housing market. And we'll also look at the controversy surrounding that Chicago gun violence dashboard. I thought the left was interested in getting illegal guns off the streets. Doesn't sound like it. That's at 6:36.
And later, guess what Jeffrey Epstein was allowed to buy in jail? But first, let's get into the newsroom again. Here is Mike Scott.
Skies are fair. We have 69 degrees. It is 6:30 on AM 560. The Answer. And an Ohio man accused of making threats against a Jewish community center is due in court today. FBI agents say James Reardon posted an online video in which he identified himself as a gunman at a local synagogue. The 20-year-old was arrested Friday. The shooting never happened. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand says the White House is painting a different picture than she sees when it comes to the U.S. economy.
I don't think his worldview is reflected in the everyday kitchen table issues that families are facing. They're worried about their jobs. They're worried about access to health care.
The 2020 Democrat presidential candidate went on ABC's This Week. The White House is downplaying the risk of any recession.
I don't see a recession at all.
That's on Fox News Sunday. Expert Larry Kudlow. Potential recession was indicated after short-term U.S. Treasury bonds last week fell below yields for longer-term bonds. President Trump says Apple CEO Tim Cook is warning him that tariffs the president plans to impose on China in less than 2 weeks would hurt Apple and help rival Samsung. Trump said Cook made that very compelling argument Sunday when the two met for dinner over the weekend. World Jewish Congress is denouncing Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib's call for a boycott of Bill Maher's HBO show Real Time. The Michigan Democrats' call came after Maher denounced an international effort to boycott Israel over its policies. Maher calling Friday the anti-Israel boycott a purity test by people who want to appear woke but actually slept through history class. A California man will spend 3 years on probation after admitting filling out voter registration forms for his 4 dogs. Richard Davis said he was so upset by reports of voter fraud, he decided to test the system and registered his golden retrievers. A Crown Point, Indiana teen is safe. She went missing over the weekend. Madison Edelman was located safe in Arkansas yesterday. Alexander Curry Fishtorn was taken into custody. A man seriously hurt after the porch he was standing on collapsed on Chicago's South Side. One man was rushed to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn in serious condition. And a week after the death of a concert goer in the suburbs, police are now opening up an investigation. Richard Valdez died August 11th at a Slipknot concert, collapsing after being thrust out of a mosh pit. Authorities are now collecting video and reports to review the Tinley Park case. Eyewitnesses claim there was a lack of urgency regarding intervention and security did not have radios. Justin Thomas won the BMW Championship, shooting a 4-under-68 in the final round at the Medina Country Club. Cubs cruise past the Pirates 7-1. Angels hammer the White Sox 9-2. The news, a service of LifeLock with Norton. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of an identity theft or that malware is compromising their smartphone. That's why LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com. Use promo code RISK to get 10% off your first year. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year, featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group of Bartlett, Charles Equipment Energy Systems, Independent Health Insurance Agent Tom Mirabali, Clear Financial Strategies, and by Monarch Technical.
Is your old AC a clunker? Does it clunk, leak, or make weird noises? Could be it's on its way out. Luckily, the highly trained techs at your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning will replace your AC with new top-tier equipment. And isn't that what you want to hear? Right now, get big savings on a complete cooling system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Do you want to learn to speak a new language but don't have enough time? Then you need to try Babbel, the language learning app that you can try for free right now at Babbel.com. Babbel's lessons are just 15 minutes or less, and you can go at your own pace. You'll be amazed at how easy Babbel makes it. Start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Just download the Babbel app or go to Babbel.com now. That's Babbel.com.
Policies issued by American General Life Insurance Company, Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000 policy for just $14 a month, which means you could save hundreds of dollars a year. Call us now for a free, no-obligation quote. 1-800-400-6213. Since 1995, we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70% on their term life insurance. See how affordably we can help you protect your family. Call AIG Direct now for your free quote. 1-800-400-6213. You could save up to 70%. That's 1-800-400-6213. 1-800-400-6213.
6:36 on AM 560. It's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It is time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Elgin, eastbound 20th Randall Road, there's traffic light malfunction at the ramp. Inbound Eisenhower, traffic is at a standstill from Manheim to Austin. The crash is just cleared now, so traffic flow should improve. At the moment, though, the travel time is an hour and 5 minutes, 390 to downtown, 52 minutes from Manheim, outbound 32 to 390. The Edens is good. Kennedy, 25 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 35, westbound 190, bottled up at the airport. Eastbound Stevenson delays start around Harlem, 49 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes from 95th. I-57, 16 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Fort, 17. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, partly sunny, warm, humid today, high 85. Currently 69. Next news coming up at 6 or at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Tickets for Freedom Summit Chicago are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream. We're launching ticket sales for our Freedom Summit November 2nd this morning. We've got our lineup set. And we're pleased to be back with our friends at Joe Cotton Ford.
And come on down. We'll be here till 9 o'clock this morning. Joe Cotton Ford is on North Avenue near Gary Avenue and Carroll Stream. And enter a chance to win free tickets to Freedom Summit Chicago.
Lineup?
Where is my starting lineup? I know we've got Michelle Malkin's going to be here. Sebastian Gorka's going to be here. Laura Logan.
That'll be a great discussion on media.
Yep. Rusty Reno, Ed Morrissey, Will Chamberlain of Human Events, and Molly Hemingway and Carrie Severino from authors of Justice on Trial. Get your tickets. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com. Our key sponsor, again, is Joe Cotton Ford, and that's why we're here in Carroll Stream. And so come down and see us this morning. We're at the corner of Gary and North Avenue. We'll also see you November 2nd at the Chicago Westin. freedomsummitchicago.com. Get your tickets.
It's a great event. Always a great event.
Out.
A lot of intellectual firepower, and it is so again this year. So definitely check that out. Lori Lightfoot, in just 10 days, is going to lay out her financial plan for the city of Chicago.
Uh-oh.
The city of Chicago has a projected operating budget deficit for the next fiscal year of $528 million. No, I'm sorry, $740 million. No, wait, hold on.
There's more?
Now it's $1 billion. If this address takes any longer, it may be up to $2 or $3 billion, the way that this is reported, because, of course, we're doing sort of groping in the dark accounting. But that's the reported budget deficit. That's just the budget deficit for a fiscal year, $1 billion. Like the Chicago public school system runs annually. And so Lightfoot has already indicated that more tax increases are on the way, because that's what big government Democrats and Republicans in this state do. It's never a spend problem. It's always a revenue problem. And we just need to tax the rich a little bit more, and everything will be right with the world. And everybody gets their pension check, and every public sector pensioner gets his wings, and it's all good. Problem is, the increased taxes, particularly property taxes, which is where they're going to go, at least in part, probably not limited to that, but certainly will include that, both for the schools as well as the city. And you know what you do to home values? You punish them. I've only been talking about this, for a decade, and it's nice to have the battle joined. Those goo-goos over at the BGA have woken up in the last 2 weeks, and they realize property taxes is a problem.
They finally started, doing a story on it.
Love it. The Tribune, all the fanfare with respect to the Tribune's series last year, and it was fine, but it was a small fraction of the story in our discussions, we've been telling the whole story. And Steve Malanga, writing in the City Journal, tells the whole story as well. The whole story is that Chicago is projected to, according to Realtor.com, to have the worst housing market of the top 200 metro areas. Top 200 this year. The truth is that national home prices have increased 30% since we started coming out of the crash of 2008. And in Chicago, they've actually declined. Yeah, declined. The price of a single-family home in Chicago is lower than it was, real dollars, because that's how you do things. Make comparisons, adjust for inflation. Lower than it was before the comeback started in 2009. Chicago has more mortgages underwater than any other major urban market. Yeah. And these are remember, good economic times. If that recession that the Democrats are cheering for happens, there's going to be a lot of Democrats in Chicago that are going to get punished because their horse is going to go from underwater to severely underwater to sending the keys into the bank and not having any credit for 7 years.
If the Cook County Sheriff knocking at your door.
Doesn't. The banks will, whether the Cook County Sheriff does or not. Also, the outmigration, what the grifters will tell you, this is just seniors leaving to spend their golden years in Florida or Arizona. What demographers will tell you is that's a lie. William Fry, looking at migration patterns of millennials, aged 22 to 38, Chicago ranks as the third least attractive among the nation's 53 largest metro areas, losing an average of nearly 19,000 more young adults than it gains every year. So you're losing young professional millennials who have big upside, right? They're just getting to the sweet spot in their careers where they start climbing the corporate ladder. They're having families. They're sending kids to school. They're making money. Not here.
Well, because they're sick of giving the government their money.
Worst housing market of the top 200. Third worst millennial market of the top 53. And what are you going to hear? What are you going to hear from Lori the Lightfoot? The same bull jive you've been hearing from politicians in both parties for a long time.
Do you think she'll cut spending anywhere?
Right. You'll hear, we're working on it. It's not as bad as you think. I inherited a mess. She'll add the I inherited a mess because she's a newbie, so you get to include that one. And there's plenty of blame to go around. And there's tough decisions. Raise taxes. You know what it requires to raise taxes?
What?
Courage. It's always a courageous decision to raise taxes. It's a cowardly decision to live within your means. That's the rap in Illinois, and we love it, don't we? The Chicago Bipartisan Combine loves it. Hat tip John Cass. And the voters who support that combine, both parties, leadership of both parties, most of the rank and file of both parties, love it too, don't you? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Are you looking forward to Lori the Lightfoot putting a marker down, demonstrating her courage to tax, as so many other politicians at the city and state level have demonstrated their courage to tax? Remember the celebration, bipartisan celebration, when we increased the state income tax 32% in July of 2017. It was an effort where you had bipartisan compromise, and that's such a beautiful thing when a Mike Madigan can come together with a Republican in leadership in the House named Steve Anderson, with a dithering House, my super minority leader Jim Durkin asleep at the switch, with the governor asleep at the switch, and can pull 15 House Republicans, a third of the caucus, in for a 32% structural income tax increase to set up a next governor to amend the Constitution for a graduated state income tax. No problems here. The lakefront's beautiful. No problems here. We got a black lesbian for mayor. It's all going to work out. That's how things work out. If I see something that's pretty, that means everything's fine. If I play identity politics, that means everything's fine. It just works out. It's magic. They're magical politicians in a magical city. Unicorns
and rainbows
strolling up and down Michigan Avenue.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing. You know what else is magic? Combating gun violence. This is just really something. The gun offender dashboard that Superintendent Eddie Johnson has posted that is receiving such criticism, logging the adjudication of gun offenders, making the point that we already know, but providing in database format the evidence, which is helpful, that we're not prosecuting. Well, the state's attorney's office is not prosecuting gun offenders the way that police think they should, the way that probably most of the public thinks they should be prosecuted, so that you remove persons who commit crimes with guns from the street. Isn't that the point again? Reducing violent crime? I thought this was about removing guns from the street, illegal guns from Indiana and elsewhere, but illegal guns. So listen to this logic here, because it is the same logic that we just went through last week when the consultant hired by the state to assess the 5 potential spots for Chicago Casino came back and said, none of those spots are viable. After, we're all sold the Chicago Casino, like casinos around the state. That's what's going to save the state financially. It's a lie, but that's what you're sold. Not only is that not going to happen, they can't even get off the ground because on the one hand, they say, here's the Chicago casino. Here's the economic engine for Chicago. On the other hand, they set up a tax structure so punitive that no casino would take the risk. So the consultant that the state hires comes back and says, forget it. None of those states work as long as you keep the tax structure this way. I know casino operators. They're not going to take the kind of risk that's involved for the potential reward. It's structurally unsound the way that you set up the law and the taxation surrounding the casinos that you want to push into the market. The most remarkable thing. We undermine the thing we say is going to provide some salvation for Chicago and Illinois. That's what they do. And what do? Now, they'll work it out. It's all going to be fine. Listen to this. And remember, we talked about this story. We talked about this story on Friday, John Cass's column about that girl teacher who was mugged in Lincoln Park, for almost dragged into an alley. Could have been a lot worse.
Oh yeah.
For a $100 cell phone, the assailant bonds out for $100. Violent crime.
100 for 100.
Physical attack.
Yeah. So that was just saying basically, she was worth $100. That's what your life means nothing. Your life means a measly $100.
That's what her parents said.
Yeah.
The city, county, and judge put the same value on my daughter as the robber did. Is that all she's worth to them? $100.
But if you tag the bean, you're in for $10,000 bond.
Removing guns from the streets. The left obsessing about banning guns, getting illegal guns off the streets, getting guns out of the hands of criminals. Bond reform activists spoke out against the Chicago Police Department's new online database showing bond amounts for people charged with gun crimes. The gun offender dashboard claims to list bond court outcomes for people charged with violent crimes, but that's exactly what it doesn't do, said Sarah Stott, a policy analyst for the Chicago Appleseed Fund for Justice, whatever the hell that is. 99% of the people listed on the website are charged with offenses where they're not accused of hurting anyone. Many people are on the database for mere possession of a weapon. She was joined by the public defender's office.
This is a great website, by the way.
The website uses the vague term gun offenders to create a false narrative of what's truly occurring. Let's set the record straight. The term gun offender also includes anyone who illegally possesses and doesn't shoot a gun for his or her own protection.
But it's an illegal possession.
This is Amy Campanelli, Cook County Public Defender. And you have other politicians saying the same thing that the Cook County Public Defender's Office is saying the same thing that these social justice activists are saying. So let me just get this straight. So we want to get guns off the streets, but only from the law-abiding? We don't want,
right, but that's right.
You have a dashboard, illegal gun possession. They haven't shot anybody yet, so what's the big deal?
Because they're possessing it illegally, Cook County defendant.
I don't understand what the Chicago Democrats' position is anymore. I mean, is it just that simple? We're fine with people of a certain demographic owning guns illegally, and we're not fine with other people of a certain demographic owning guns legally? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Tom in Oswego, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Dan, you mentioned about structural change. I agree. I'm a high school graduate. I didn't go to college, and I run a small business. But I realized that if I keep running my business in such a way, I'm going to go out of business because I have to go out and earn money. I can't take it. As far as people leaving the state, I've got two neighbors right now moving to Arizona. One left yesterday, and the other is getting ready to leave. My daughter, when she graduated college, is teaching out of the country, not just the state, but out of the country. I've got another son graduating law school 2 years. He's out of here. Another son graduating in a month, and he said he's going to be gone. He's moving out to the East Coast. So this is a brain drain that's going on here in Illinois. Unfortunately, I don't want to say I'm stuck here. I love this state, but I am stuck here because my business is here, and I can't just up and move it. And it's a shame what's going on. These politicians, there's no consequence for their actions, none at all. They can just do whatever they want, and the people keep voting them in, and I don't understand.
That's right, Tom. Thanks for the call. And just on the point of college graduates, kids going to college, this bears repeating. I don't think this is penetrated. So Illinois exports more of its college-bound high school seniors than any other state in the nation except New Jersey. In fact, we may have moved past New Jersey now, but we were 49th in college graduates staying home. So as Tom was saying, you go off to college somewhere else and you stay somewhere else. You're not coming back to a state that doesn't have job opportunities in your chosen field of endeavor, are you? Larry and Bartlett.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Dan, I've been harping on this for a while now. We always talk about the number of people moving out of Chicago and Cook County into the suburbs, but these absolute idiots are moving because they can't afford to live there. They don't like the rules and the policies, but they come back here and they still keep registering and voting as Democrats. What are we going to do? When will Illinois ever get any gonads and develop a decent Republican Party?
Well, that's it, right? If you don't have electoral competition, you have one-party rule, and if you have one-party rule, then you have systemic corruption. You become a kleptocracy, which is what Illinois is.
I hate to say it, but I don't see it ever changing.
Thanks for the call, Larry. Ever is a long time, but I would say with Governor Jelly Belly and friends running roughshod over productive people in this state without consequence because the Republican Party is defunct, you're a generation away, at least. So I don't know about you, but I'm not so keen on just sitting here and getting beaten about the head and neck area for no purpose for another generation. I mean, I just go back to what Jimmy John Leotude said when he left Chicago for Florida, moved to Jimmy John's corporate headquarters down to Florida. He said, look, I've been successful in life. I've been lucky. It's been great. I'm happy to pay taxes. I'm happy to pay my fair share. I'm happy to even pay more than my fair share because I'm good and money is not a concern for me. Here's what upsets me, and here's what I won't tolerate. I won't tolerate the money that I send to Springfield going for something other than what they said it was going to go for. I'm not going to tolerate people telling me that my tax dollars are there to provide quality services to the developmentally disabled and then see Illinois the worst in the nation in providing services to the developmentally disabled. I'm not going to be a pigeon. I refuse to be the victim of a scam or layers of scam over and over and over again. And that's where I'm at. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream. We're kicking off our Freedom Summit and ticket sales this morning.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The Lou Dobbs Financial Report is brought to you by Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for your commercial banking needs.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Walmart cites robots as a big part of its second quarter profits, Midwestern farmers being sentenced in organic product fraud, and retailers joining used clothing trend. Those stories next.
I'm Bobby Richards with today's 1 Minute Money Report. The New York Times recently reported on an unusual way Americans are making money. They found over 10,000 people who broke the golden rule of investing and became millionaires. The stories included people from all walks of life, including writers, professional bowlers, and blues guitarists, even a set of grandparents.
We broke the golden rule of investing and turned $16,000 into $2 million.
And here's one person who agrees with what they're doing, Warren Buffett. He says blindly following Wall Street's golden rule is just protection against ignorance. And Alexander Green, perhaps the top stock picker in America, told his 140,000 followers that if they break this rule, they can retire on just one investment. His video immediately went viral. You can view it for yourself at onestockretirement.com and decide if you should break the golden rule too. Again, that's onestockretirement.com. If your retirement isn't what you want it to be, go see what 10,000 people have already used to become millionaires.
Walmart's impressive 3% gain in second quarter profits reported last week were due in part to cost controls that include robotic floor cleaners. The giant retailer says the use of automation to track inventory and replacing human janitors with mechanical floor cleaners are key components in their battle with online retailers like Amazon. 4 farmers from the Midwest facing sentencing for cheating organic food customers in a 7-year scheme in which they charge premium prices for products marketed as organic, but they weren't. It is the largest fraud scheme of its kind in U.S. history. Major retailers like JCPenney and Macy's are forging partnerships with resale marketers who sell what are called gently used clothing, a concept popular with young customers. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
We have reached the age where things just cost more.
Cars, phones, life insurance.
Your blood pressure is up.
Your weight is up.
You're one to talk.
I have type 2 diabetes, so I'm getting dinged just like you.
Thank goodness for Big Lou.
Big Lou!
Big Lou can get term life insurance rates for a 50-year-old male with type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, or maybe he's on anxiety meds for just around $200 a month for $1 million of coverage.
Oh, you got to say that again.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll say it. Big Lou and term provider could get a 50-year-old man, a little dinged up, $1 million in life insurance for around $200 a month.
Call Big Lou.
Big Lou!
He's like you.
800-555-2085. That's 800-555-2085.
Don't put it off. If you're overweight, diabetic, have high blood pressure, you gotta call Big Lou.
Gotta.
800-555-2085.
Write it down.
800-555-2085.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I love it. I'll take it for life. When I go in and I get all my checkups and everything and that, my numbers are just, they're through the roof. Good. It works well.
It is the most wonderful product I think I've ever taken.
The success of using this product has just been wonderful. And it's so pleasant to take. It's so easy to use. There's just no downside to it. If a product like this is going to improve your life, then this is the best one out there.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, all new preferred customers will receive an additional 30% discount and free shipping on your first Balance of Nature order. You will also receive an extra $10 off on any additional set of fruits and veggies you purchase. This summer special will expire, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
It's not for sale. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. The Prime Minister of Denmark says the idea the United States could buy its territory, Greenland, is absurd. It's something President Trump says he's thought about and says it makes sense.
They carry it at a great loss. And strategically for the United States, it would be nice. And we're a big ally of Denmark, and we help Denmark, and we protect Denmark, and we will.
Greenland has been a Danish territory since 1814. A top senator says a report on how the investigation of the Trump campaign and Russian election meddling got started is going to be damning and ugly. More from Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington.
Chris, the Justice Department's Inspector General's report into the origins of the Russia probe has been expected for weeks. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham told Sunday Morning Futures with Maria Bartiromo, we could know more soon.
I'm going to meet with the Attorney General next week. I want to declassify as much as possible. I want the American public to hear the story.
President Trump has accused the intelligence community of improperly surveilling his campaign. House Intelligence Committee Chair Democrat Adam Schiff has maintained the probe is politically motivated scheme. Chris?
Rachel Sutherland in Washington, thanks. An ex-girlfriend tipped off police to a Florida man's threat that he wanted to kill a lot of people.
25-year-old Tristan Wicks appeared before a judge in Volusia County Saturday. He's accused of threatening to kill at least 100 people. Wicks was arrested Friday. The sheriff's office says Wicks's ex-girlfriend tipped them off about the threats.
She did what we beg people in the community to do: see something, say something, and then let us take it from there.
The sheriff's office released alleged text messages from Wicks that said a school is a weak target and that he'd likely fire into a large crowd of people over 3 miles away, also saying he wanted to break the world record for the longest confirmed kill ever.
That's Fox 35 Orlando's Jessica Albert. Dow futures are up 271 points ahead of the opening bell on Wall Street. America is listening to Fox News.
Sunshine in Chicago. We have 70 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Thunderstorms blamed for delaying the start of day 2 of the Chicago Air and Water Show was pushed back to noontime because of lightning, but those fast-moving storms caused some damage in the western and southern suburbs and led to hundreds of flight cancellations at O'Hare and Midway. This morning, a Crown Point, Indiana teen is safe. After she went missing over the weekend, Madison Edelman was located safe in Arkansas yesterday. Alexander Curry Fishtorn has been taken into custody after that 16-year-old girl disappeared Saturday morning in Crown Point. A 41-year-old man was shot and killed Sunday night near Calumet Beach on the southwest side. According to Chicago police, the victim was sitting on the ground near a playground when a 25-year-old man approached him and shot him twice in the stomach. The man was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, later pronounced dead. The mother of an Indiana man killed in an officer-involved shooting says Gary, Indiana police, and their stories do not add up. Rashad Cunningham's family has hired a lawyer in hopes of getting answers after the 25-year-old was fatally shot outside of his Gary home early Saturday morning. A Democrat state senator from Chicago apologizing after pictures of a fake assassination of President Trump went viral. Senator Marty Sandoval posting pictures last week. One shows a man with a fake rifle shooting another man dressed in a Trump mask. In his apology, Sandoval says he doesn't condone violence. BMW Sunday at the Medina Country Club. The championship cup at the BMW goes to Justin Thomas, a 3-shot victory over Patrick Cantley. Anthony Rizzo, a 2-run home run. Cubs cruise past the Pirates in the Little League Classic in Williamsport, 7-1. Angels over the White Sox, 9-2. The news service of LifeLock with Norton. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is compromising their smartphone. That's why LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com, promo code RISK, to get 10% off your first year. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated, HealthInsuranceMentors.com, Cromweedy Roofing, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving, built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
Hey everyone, Ken here. For 2 years now, you've heard Carrie and I use metaphors to test to see if you think your home or your business could use a revenue shot in the backside. Today, because of our new website, I can be a little bit more direct. Income Store has 2 doors. If you have more time than money, you're going to live under door number 1. You're going to see over 400 digital assets, 5 to 20 minutes apiece, that'll teach you how to manage numbers and lead people, or show you 6 growth tips you've never heard of. All of this so you can start growing your home or your business revenue literally immediately. If you have more money than time, door number 2 is going to be for you. You can view some of our managed services, look for more done-for-you packages. 34% of Americans in 2018 visited one of our managed services. Forbes 3 years in a row quoted, Income Store is an expert at generating home or business revenue. If you'd love to explore how to check out adding revenue to your home or business, just go to incomestore.com. That's incomestore.com.
No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is compromising their smartphone. That's why LifeLock with Norton now includes protection for your identity and devices. Join at lifelock.com and use promo code RISK to get 10% off your first year.
7:07 on AM 560. It is time for a dry basement and a healthy home. Time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. And a check of the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Inbound Eisenhower traffic is just a mess from Mannheim to Austin after a crash. It is an hour and 11 minutes, 390 to downtown, 58 minutes from Mannheim, outbound 38 to 390. Eden's 21 minutes, like Cook to the Junction. Kennedy, 33 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 47, and westbound 190 has additional delays. Inbound Stevenson, looking at an hour, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, and outbound 47 minutes. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 at the Bishop Ford are still fairly light. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go now from the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Eastbound Reagan Tollway from 22nd at Roosevelt. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 63rd to the Reagan Tollway. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. In our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, meteorologist Steve Williams.
Partly sunny. It'll be a warm and humid day. The high today 85. Tonight partly cloudy, low 68. Clouds and sun, warm and humid again tomorrow. A shower and thunderstorm in the late afternoon. A high tomorrow at 86. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
69 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with Stephen Leahy. Every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream, kicking off our Freedom Summit ticket sales this morning. That's November 2nd at the Westin in Itasca. We've got a all-star lineup, a lot of intellectual heavyweights as per usual.
Well, Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity's going to be here, Lara Logan, Sebastian Gorka, Molly Hemingway, and Carrie Severino, Rusty Reno, just to name a few. Ed Morrissey is going to be there. He's a good friend of the program. And Will Chamberlain, not Wilt Chamberlain, of Human Events. And if you want to come down here to Joe Cotton Ford, we're here until 9 a.m. and we're giving away a free pair of tickets. And also, if you can't make it down here, go to freedomsummitchicago.com to get your tickets. This event always sells out. It's going to be a great night. Freedomsummitchicago.com. Again, it's November 2nd, Saturday, at the Chicago Westin Northwest in Itasca.
And over the weekend, our friend, former acting ICE director Tom Homan, was on to discuss this Google petition. Have you seen the Google petition?
Yeah.
As you would expect, Google, they don't want Google doing business with the Department of Defense, with the Pentagon. They don't want Google doing business with ICE or Customs and Border Patrol or anything associated with enforcement of immigration laws. And Tom Homan was asked to react, and he's never shy to do so. But this is a great riff on informing the public what ICE actually does and who ICE actually is after they've been smeared by the likes of AOC with impunity as Nazi stormtroopers lording over concentration camps.
First off, the only thing I tell them is get out of the building, fire them. I don't know any employees who want to see their company lose, millions of contracts with the federal government. Look, they're supposed to be techie smart, this younger generation, but these people are morons because they haven't studied the issue. Study the issue, stop the false, and find out what ICE actually does. Do you know 9 out of 10 people that ICE arrests are criminals, convicted criminals, or are pending criminal charges against a United States citizen? Do you know that ICE took enough opioids off the street last year that kill every man, woman, and child in this country twice? Do you know ICE have saved thousands of children from child predators? Do you know ICE has saved hundreds of women from sex trafficking? Do you know ICE arrested 137,000 criminals, public safety threats off your streets to make your streets safer? And as far as Nazis, let me educate you on that too. ICE actually has an entire division that investigates and removes human rights violators. During my 34 years with ICE, we actually arrested and removed hundreds of Nazi war criminals to go back and stand trial. Yeah. ICE arrests human rights violators every year, hundreds, and sends them back to their homeland to face charges. So ICE is an exact opposite operational mode. We attack human violators, and we remove them and have them deported, and so they can face their consequences back in their homeland.
For more on this topic, and we'll take a little jaunt around the globe with him as well, we're pleased to be joined by Lieutenant Colonel Jim Carafano, Vice President of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute for International Studies at the Heritage Foundation, author of books including Wiki at War and Private Sector Public Wars. Jim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I was with Tom just the other day. We did an event in Austin. He's an old friend.
And what do you so how do you react to what he had to say, not just informing the Google petitioners, but informing the larger debate, since ICE has been so caricatured by the left, and with amplification by the D.C. press corps, of course?
Well, as horrific as it is to hear a legitimate law enforcement agency be demonized that way, and even one of the things he didn't talk about is if you actually look at their statistics, they have some of the best statistics in terms of their performance or legitimacy in any other federal agency. So, for example, if you're held in custody in New York City, you're 18 times more likely to die than if you're held in custody by ICE. Right? So, if you're an official who's elected in New York, you might be more concerned about the standards of detention in New York City facilities than you are in ICE facilities. And I have met many of these men and women, and they do a whole range of things. They protect us from counterfeit merchandise. They take drugs off the street. They take criminals out of the country. I mean, and I guess what's stunning is not so much that these claims are made, but that they're made by people who are actually supposedly legitimate government elected officials.
Well, what did you think?
And they make them with impunity.
Mm-hmm. Well, what did you think? Beto O'Rourke restarted his campaign yet again, returning to the presidential trail over the weekend. But he focused on communities that he believes are under attack by Trump. He visited people in Mississippi where the ICE raid took place. And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, this gets to the core of the issue about detention and removal, which is, just like any other law, if there is no enforcement mechanism, the law has no credibility. We give soccer moms speeding tickets. We arrest really nice people from our church because they cheat on their taxes. Arresting people who have broken a law and then having to pay the consequences for that. That's part of the rule of law. And if you don't do that, you've actually done the opposite. You privilege certain people in a society above other people in a society. So even though it says, we're being mean here, it just doesn't work. So the one that got me the most kind of agitated was the constant pictures of the little girl crying that her dad had been arrested.
Oh, yeah.
And my response to that was, look, I've been watching law enforcement for decades. My dad was a cop. I mean, a law enforcement arrests people. Sometimes those people have children. Part of the job is ensuring the safety of the child. It involves child services, law enforcement, local communities, sometimes NGOs, families, but addressing their issues and needs, that's just part of the job.
I wanted to get your take on Hong Kong with the largest protest yet over the weekend. Some estimates of 1.7 million people turned out. You had a good write-up at FoxNews.com on the topic suggesting that, one of the problems is that Hong Kong is just not as important to the Chinese economy as it once was. But that shouldn't mean that Hong Kong and watching people try to revolt for their freedom against Chinese communists is something that we should ignore or pay short shrift to.
Well, I think definitely one of the lessons learned there is that China doesn't care about its own people, regardless of what you think of the current situation. The people of Hong Kong are citizens of China, and China doesn't care about them, and that's 7 million people that essentially the government could care less about, and I think that's a pretty stunning indictment for the rest of the world to see. You kind of wonder where the off-ramp is here. I mean, I am in the camp that there's really no reason for the Chinese to intervene. The Hong Kong police can handle this. They're happy to see that Hong Kong look unstable and have that business go elsewhere. But you do have to wonder at some point, where's the off-ramp for Hong Kong? And I think that's the big question mark that nobody has.
Well, right, but then and what should American policy be, even rhetorically, with respect to those people protesting in Hong Kong and Eye Patch Girl and the people who've been beaten and otherwise injured by police for protesting?
Well, I think the number one thing really for the U.S. to do is to point to this is emblematic of the behavior of the Chinese government. They have a long list of broken promises, and they are not respecting the rights and needs of their own people. I think that's the number one lesson we all take away from it. Beyond that, I think the U.S. has very limited capacity to actually influence the situation, other than saying the world is watching, and the United States will hold you accountable. We just published a piece on this on the Heritage website, heritage.org. They said, look, if Hong Kong actually intervenes militarily, there's a whole list of the things that the United States would appropriately do in response to that. Those are things that are not going to make China happy, and China would pay a price. And I think the free world would make China pay a price for military intervening. I do believe that.
Well, do you think the Hong Kong protests are going to complicate negotiations, though, especially with the tariff talks?
I don't think so, because I think they're dead.
Oh,
that's good. Well, that's encouraging. Right. Well, though that's not the note that Larry Kudlow struck over the weekend. No. He was suggesting that talks are ongoing, positioning is ongoing, progress is hopefully imminent.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I do think if Hong Kong intervened militarily, then talks would be stone dead. But I'm just not seeing from the Chinese side a need to cut a deal. Now, maybe they will cut a deal. I don't know. To me, I get less and less enamored with the deal. The deal seems to be something like this golden egg that's hanging out there that the markets will just joyously rapture over. But I think the pushing back was important to reset the relationship. But I don't think the deal is an endpoint. I mean, even if they had some kind of deal, the Chinese would immediately look for ways to walk around it or renege it and walk off it. And it's just the beginning, I think, of the struggle between the two economies, figuring out their way in the world. So to me, a deal is not some kind of magic solution, even though the administration would say that, Chinese might say that, but they both know that that's not true.
Right, it's not true, but it has important psychic value, and it has important economic value, at least in the short term, if it actually resulted in lowering tariffs, reducing taxes.
I do get a sense on the U.S. side that they've kind of crossed an economic Rubicon there, and they don't think they need the trade deal to get reelected. There's other ways lots of things they can do to make sure the economy keeps humming along, and the Chinese, I do think, are hurting more than the U.S. So on balance, if the U.S. economy remains strong, the Chinese are suffering. I think the administration is happy to wait till after 2020 to do a trade deal. I think from the Chinese perspective, they said, well, maybe Trump will get reelected, and we'll get a new president who will try to push this through. So we'll see.
Maybe we could buy Hong Kong instead of Greenland.
There you go.
Price might be a little higher.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah. But perhaps we could deal, and perhaps if
and maybe we could paper on Greenland too, heritage.org.
Yeah. What if we threw in...
the only think tank in America that actually had an analyst go to Greenland. I'm the only person that's actually had people on the ground in Greenland. So
And
what do the people say?
Have you priced it out?
No, but now I'm thinking, we did this. We've been working on Greenland for a couple of years now, but now I think people are going to think like maybe we're part of the CIA or something. That they sent us over there to scout it out.
Well, what if we did a straight up trade? We did Illinois and Portland for Hong Kong.
Yeah. I'm not sure what the Danes would do with Portland.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of Portland and violence from ignorant extremist groups of all sorts, we saw violence from the anti-fascists in Portland over the weekend. We had three arrests of potential mass shooters that were making threats online, and there was a lot of sort of noise on cable channels about Trump tweeting about Antifa and considering them a domestic terrorist group, and there's no such designation, and so on and so forth. The designation is not important. What's important is law enforcement scrutiny. And give us your sense of federal law enforcement scrutiny on these extremist groups like Antifa, as well as extremist one-offs like these arrests that were made.
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely something that the federal government's going to have to pay more attention to. Not that they don't; they actually have task forces that do this. Matter of fact, I was talking to folks in the FBI and CIA the other day, and the notion that somehow that they've just neglected these groups and they aren't looking at them for years is just something that's just not true. They have been. I think they'll publicly have to demonstrate that they're doing that more, just because there's so much attention on it. But and as a historian, I just reflect on this. And thinking back, the contrast between what's going on now and 1968. In 1968, all of America was really angry. It just feels to me, anyway, that now it's like most of America is really disconnected from this intense anger, and it's like we're all watching a national reality TV show, but we're not really moved by it. I don't get the sense that all of America is caught up in this extreme anger that seems focused on the political scene, and so there's the Washington bubble, and then there are these people that kind of take that anger into the countryside, and they do something that looks like performance art, except it turns to violence and people get hurt. But it's not really connected to the rest of it. I'm in Waco, Texas, and you walk around town, and nobody's angry about anything. They're all just wearing Chip and Roy T-shirts.
Yeah, sure. Right, sure. You got meandering around the campus at Baylor and just enjoying yourselves. Yeah. No, I think it's actually a good point. The disconnect between the America that's portrayed on cable news and then the lives that most Americans actually lead, where there is I'm not involved in any race war. I don't have any conflict when I go to the coffee shop or to go to my job. So much of this seems to be, sort of purposely manufactured.
And I think that's particularly, I'm glad you brought up, university campuses, because that actually seems to be particularly true on university campuses, which are, generally, you're not seeing student strikes. You're not seeing, they're not, we're in 68 when they were kind of the hotbeds of this. It is, people who in many cases are imported into communities that do this, and it doesn't seem like it's rooted in the community itself, except maybe in Portland, where it's almost become institutionalized.
Well, sure, yeah.
And it's kind of shocking and disturbing. But again, nobody looks at Portland and says, well, there is little America right there, right? That's the community that's speaking for the rest of us. So, I think this kind of thing will continue through next year, but people are going to get hurt, and I think that's the sad part, right? I mean, essentially what we have is a small, agitated political class who are using other human beings as kind of props, and in the process of that, they're shooting them, blowing them up, and beating them with fists. And it's just not who we are as a country. I don't think it's in the end it's going to move the American electorate, other than be repulsed by it, whether it's from the right or the left.
He is Lieutenant Colonel Jim Carafano, Vice President of the Catherine and Shelby Cullum Davis Institute for International Studies at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Stop wasting energy. There's a better way. Your company could be receiving energy efficiency incentives by recycling waste heat from on-site power generation equipment and turning it into useful energy. The federal government is pushing utility companies to be more efficient. In turn, utility companies are offering incentives for your business. Charles Equipment can help get you up and running with cogeneration, also known as CHP, combined heat and power. A clean and efficient way to generate heat and power. CHP systems can supply at least a portion of a building's electrical load and capture waste heat from hot exhaust gases for use in heating, cooling, hot water, and dehumidification. Charles Equipment can install and manage the cogen equipment at your facility and help your energy use become 70 to 90% more efficient. Start making better, more energy efficient decisions and save money in the process. Call Charles Equipment 630-834-6000 or online at charlesequipment.com. Reliable industrial generators. They've got the power.
You know what else has the power? My Pillow, Mike Lindell. It's an amazing company. He's CEO, founder of My Pillow, and he wants to give back to the listeners. And you can get now deep discounts on all My Pillow products by going to mypillow.com and clicking on the new radio listener specials box. I love My Pillow. I've been sleeping on one for years. Can't live without it. Love the Giza cotton sheets. They're fantastic. And right now you can get big discounts on the body pillow that provides the perfect comfort and support for your entire body. Regularly $89.99, but with the promo code Amy, it's only $29.99. And all products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener specials box, and get those deep discounts on all products, including My Pillows, for only $29.99. 30% off mattress toppers and those Giza cotton sheets. MyPillow.com, promo code Amy, or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201.
I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO of Wesley Financial Group and timeshare cancellation advocate. I was sued by the largest timeshare company in federal court for simply helping people cancel their timeshare that they had been lied to about. The jury sized me up and came back with a verdict after only 20 minutes. And yes, I won.
My husband and I are more than grateful to everyone at Wesley Financial Group. You know, thanks to Chuck and his team, we feel as though a weight has been lifted and we can move on without the worry of a troublesome timeshare.
Whether you owe $10,000 to $250,000 on your timeshare, it's my mission to get you out of your timeshare, eliminate your payments, and get them off your back permanently. And we proudly hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau.
Want to learn more about getting rid of your troublesome timeshare? Call Wesley Financial Group now for your free consultation. Call 800-691-9999. That's 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999.
Almost over, but you're still going to those barbecues, right? We still have Labor Day weekend around the corner. And you're not getting enough fruits and veggies at those things, are you? Beer, brats, burgers. No, you need fruits and veggies. And if you take just 6 capsules of Balance of Nature, you're getting 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables. It'll help if you're feeling a little run down. It'll help boost your metabolism, they say, and your immune system. So go to balanceofnature.com. Use discount code Chicago for 25% off, free shipping. Plus, they'll kick in a set of convenient travel bottles that contain a free additional week supply of Balance of Nature. 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago, or simply go to balanceofnature.com, discount code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
And Amy, coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford this morning. We're launching our ticket sales for Freedom Summit on November 2nd. And want to just remember Cedric Benson. Cedric Benson, Bears running back, first-round draft pick that was killed tragically over the weekend in a motorcycle accident.
And he was very philanthropic in his community. Remember the guy who had the bomb that was delivered to his house? Well, he helped restore his home for free, which I thought was a very nice gesture.
He was down in Texas.
Yeah, down in Texas. When it happened, he was on a motorcycle with a girl on the back, and they slammed into a minivan. It was a fiery crash. The female driver of the minivan, not injured, not ticketed. They said Cedric Benson was going too fast for conditions and speeding.
Yeah, Cedric Benson had some real struggles when he was with the Bears. I mean, he ended up actually having, I think, 1,000-yard rushing season with the Bengals. Resuscitated his career a little bit, but there's a guy because of bad decision making, drug use.
Well, I got a DUI in 2017 and in 2018.
Yes. Bad decisions, drug use, never lived up to his potential. So, I mean, to me, if death at 36, that's unfortunate. Obviously, that's sad. But also, just another cautionary tale for young athletes out there. Here's a guy who had it all, first-round draft pick for the Bears, like Rashaan Salam, wasn't disciplined. I mean, Benson was more talented than Salam, wasn't disciplined, and he just didn't live up to his potential. And I think there's nothing more tragic than unrealized potential. So that's unfortunately part of Cedric Benson's epitaph, too.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to Dominic Green, Spectator USA, about the two Socialist Spice Girls barred from Israel and whether Bibi made the right call at 7:37.
And later, thousands say goodbye to Margie. We'll explain. But now let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 71 degrees. ISIS claiming responsibility for a suicide attack in Afghanistan that killed 63 at a wedding reception and wounded over 180 in a minority Shiite neighborhood. The World Jewish Congress is denouncing Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib's call for a boycott of HBO's Bill Maher show, Real Time. Michigan Democrats' call came after Maher denounced the international effort to boycott Israel over policies. Federal charges have been filed against more than 40 illegal immigrants arrested in a huge ICE raid in Mississippi 2 weeks ago, where nearly 700 were taken into custody. President Trump says for now he's not worried about the U.S. economy sliding into a recession.
And most economists actually say, Phil, that we're not going to have a recession. Most of them are saying we're not going to have a recession, but the rest of the world is not doing well like we're doing.
Thunderstorms blamed for delaying the start of the Chicago Air and Water Show yesterday, but it was because of those storms that damage was caused in the western and southern suburbs, and hundreds of flights were canceled at O'Hare and Midway, and both airports are in recovery mode this morning. A 41-year-old man shot and killed Sunday night near Calumet Beach. Police are investigating on the southeast side. Crown Point, Indiana teen is safe after she went missing over the weekend. Madison Edelman was located safe in Arkansas yesterday, and a man, Alexander Curry Fishtorn, was taken into custody. BMW Championship winner Justin Thomas. Cubs over the Pirates. Angels beat the White Sox. The news service of LifeLock with Norton. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is compromising their smartphone. That's why LifeLock with Norton now includes protections for your identity and devices. Join at LifeLock.com, promo code RISK to get 10% off your first year. 7:33, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year, featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group of Bartlett, Charles Equipment Energy Systems, Independent Health Insurance Agent Tom Mirabali, Clear Financial Strategies, and by Monarch Technical.
Is your old AC a clunker? Does it clunk, leak, or make weird noises? Could be it's on its way out. Luckily, the highly trained techs at your local 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning will replace your AC with new top-tier equipment. And isn't that what you want to hear? Right now, get big savings on a complete cooling system. Call 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. Call for details. Independently owned and operated. Licensed in the respective state or county.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher for BestHotGrill.com. Ever wonder why the steaks at top restaurants taste so good? It's simple. The chefs use high heat and proper technique. Exactly what Solaire infrared grills can provide for you every day in your own backyard, RV, or tailgate. U.S.-made Solaire infrared grills heat up in just 3 minutes to searing hot temperatures, delivering the juiciest, most flavorful food for your family. Learn more about Solaire infrared grills at BestHotGrill.com. BestHotGrill.com. Go to BestHotGrill.com.
Message and data rates may apply.
Dear Bosley, when my dad lost his hair, it made him very sad. He doesn't like the way he looks. I heard you were very good at hair. Please give my dad his hair back. Love, Maddie.
Well, Maddie, today's a wish come true for your dad and every guy listening with hair loss, because Bosley's about to give them their real hair back permanently. They'll get a free information kit and a free gift card when they text GOOD to 85850. Guys, let Bosley show you, for free, how great your hair could look. Using the latest technology, Bosley's solution to hair loss is permanent and protected by the Bosley Guarantee.
Thank you, Bosley.
Get your hair back today with America's #1 hair restoration expert. Get a free information kit and a free gift card for $250 off by texting GOOD to 85850. That's GOOD to 85850.
Blue Emu supports healthy muscles and joints. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
7:36 AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Inbound Eisenhower traffic is very heavy. North Avenue to the Tri-State and Manheim to the Burnt Circle. It's a 1-hour drive from 390 to downtown. 41 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 38 minutes to 390. Eden's 20 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 23. Kennedy 35 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 49. Stevenson runs 58 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 47. Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, it's heavy. 87th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. It's about Adams Tollway, it's type Beverly to Higgins and Hoffman Estates. Reagan Tollway, 22nd, Roosevelt. Northbound Veterans Memorial, 63rd to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, partly sunny, warm, humid, high 85. Currently 71. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Real Estate Revealed with Randy Barcella, Sunday mornings starting at 8.
When you've got questions, he always has an answer. It's Sean Hannity this afternoon at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream. We're kicking off ticket sales for our November 2nd Freedom Summit, that annual extravaganza of conservative intellectuals, and we've got a great lineup again this year.
Yeah, Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Lara Logan is going to be here, Sebastian Gorka, Molly Hemingway, Rusty Reno, Ed Morrissey, Will Chamberlain. The list goes on. And the event
The guy who
always
scored
sells
100
out.
points in a game?
No, this is Will, not Will Chamberlain of Human Events. But again, it sells out every year. So get your tickets now. Go to freedomsummitchicago.com, freedomsummitchicago.com. And also, we're handing out, going to be giving away a pair of tickets here at Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream. We're here until 9 a.m. So come on down, say hi, grab a cup of coffee, a donut. And we'd love to come
Maybe and introduce yourself. Ford Explorer while you're here.
Maybe
Grab
jump
that
in
one of those two.
Hot wire, one of those bad boys.
So over the weekend, we found out that MFer Spice, Rashida Tlaib, not so keen on seeing Grandmama after all. Rashida Tlaib explaining why she was not going to take advantage of the humanitarian offer to visit the West Bank and see her grandmother.
I don't know what to tell you. This is a country that has just made a huge error, I believe, and they're going to probably have to pay the cost of it. A number of my colleagues are very much taken aback by this, very angry by this decision. It's unfortunate because, we see Israel as a democracy, as a democratic country, but it's very obvious that they're trying to limit what I'm able to do when I get there. My goal is to see my grandmother. Again, she's in her 90s. This could be my last chance to see her.
Oh, yeah, her goal. Her hate for Israel trumped her love for her grandmother.
Well, she's going to keep fighting the fight.
That's what she says, huh? Well, she, on Saturday night, they had a thing at a Shabbat in the park where she came together with some of her supporters and got emotional because they love her so much, Dad. She's feeling the love.
Oh, thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Salam Alaikum. Hello.
I should be on a plane to see her, but you all gave me even more love today. Thank you for uplifting peace, love, and justice. Thank you. Thank you for not politicizing what's happened to me, because I'm still a granddaughter.
Yeah, and Grandmama sent her love by saying she hopes God ruins Trump. So it's a nice moment between the two. They really come together around hatred of Israel and Trump.
Maybe they can FaceTime each other.
The ties that bind. For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Dominic Green, the critic, historian, and life and arts editor of Spectator USA, who's written on the topic. Dominic, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy.
Morning. So you suggested there is a reason that is just below the surface why Bibi decided to reject the visits of Tlaib and Omar, with that one exception being Omar's.
Yes,
being
yes, I
Tlaib's
think there is,
grandmother.
and we have to look at the big picture, which is very hard when people like Tlaib and Omar are making so much noise and drama. The big picture is the future of the borders of Israel. Negotiations with the Palestinians stalled years ago. There's divided governments between the West Bank and between the Gaza Strip. It doesn't really matter whether Tlaib and Ilan Omar visit or not. What really matters is the trade-offs that are going on between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, both of whom face re-election. Netanyahu in September, Trump, of course, next year. And that's really the context I think we should be looking at.
Well, sure, and it's good. Probably got to be good politics locally in both countries to take out after a couple of congresswomen who are otherwise sympathetic to, more than sympathetic to, back the terrorist-backed, Hamas-backed BDS movement.
Absolutely. I mean, there's an interesting series of events recently. Congress issued a condemnation of BDS, but about a quarter of the Israeli Knesset sent an amazing letter basically saying, well, thank you very much. It's wonderful. That was their word for the support. But really, we think a Palestinian state under the present circumstances is a far greater threat than the complaints of a few college professors or a couple of fringe Democratic congresswomen, which is an astonishing turnout. And that gives a suggestion, I think, about what's really in play here. The Trump administration has moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. It's acknowledged Israel's claim to the Golan Heights. There is whispers that Netanyahu, as a boost to his election campaign, is going to get an endorsement from President Trump for annexing Jewish settlements over the 1967 lines. And, of course, the more President Trump lays down, the more he'll be able to call on later. He's not doing this out of sentimentality, after all. He's a famously transactional president, and the price for all of this is something he may yet collect on, if, of course, he can get the deal of the century and the very complicated two-stage peace and economic plan, if he can get that plan off the ground. And, of course, that hasn't yet happened.
Well, did you hear what Tlaib also said at that Shabbat celebration on Saturday? She said that her mother's heart is going to be broken, but she also called on Americans to reevaluate our unwavering support for Israel.
Well, that's positively tepid compared to what she said previously.
Well, firstly, Americans' support for Israel wavers in the political sense, in that there have been administrations which have got on well and administrations which haven't. This is a client state. This is the small ally on the other side of the world. This is a political relationship at that level. Now, of course, Tlaib would like a complete reevaluation or a reversal, indeed, but there is strategically not much chance of that happening. The Israelis are doing their best to trade off, as it were, between what they need to do and what they can do for their most powerful, crucial patron. And this is a good example. They were prepared to put up with the Congresswoman's visit, and then when President Trump asked them not to, they went the other way on it, because he is the crucial partner still for them.
Over the weekend, 1.7 million, by some estimates, protesters took to the streets in Hong Kong, the biggest demonstration yet. What are the prospects that those protests prompt Chinese military action and perhaps a real moment that captures the attention of the globe in a more significant way than it has to thus far, I'm sorry to say?
Well, I think that it's a very high chance, if things carry on like this, of a violent confrontation between the protesters and either the Hong Kong authorities and police forces, who are becoming more active, or indeed by an intervention from over the border from the Chinese. As with the endless Middle East crises that the United States is involved in, it is not possible to fix the entire world, and you get the impression that the American public does not want to expend blood and treasure fixing everybody's issue. The difficulty in Hong Kong is simply this. What has happened there is, broadly speaking, legitimate. The British gave it back. They didn't create a fully democratic system as they were leaving, but they did leave the rule of law and business according to international standards. The Chinese government have done their best to insert themselves into those processes, but broadly speaking, it's worked out. The young people there are under Chinese government, and they're on Chinese territory. Is the United States seriously going to get entangled in this at a moment when the Trump administration is trying to rebalance its trade relationships, its military strategy, all of these things? This is a very complicated moment. So it's one thing to issue statements of support or sympathy. It's another to get involved. I don't think Americans would appreciate it if the Chinese government started issuing ultimatums about how the southern border crisis, for instance, was being handled. So this is a test, really, for perhaps the hardest test yet for President Trump's attempt to extricate the United States from these foreign entanglements and to try and put relationships on a new footing.
But at least to provide potentially rhetorical support. I mean, it's hard not to be empathetic and supportive of Hong Kongans that are waving American flags as they're rising up against Chinese communists. Unfortunately, though, the reality is, whether it's in Iran or Venezuela or Hong Kong, very difficult to actually consummate one of these popular revolts into, paradigm change, right?
I'm afraid it is, and there's a big difference between sympathy and policy, and the costs involved in this case seem to be very high, and it's inconceivable that the Chinese authorities will say to the people of Hong Kong, yes, go free, do what you want, be completely autonomous. It's just never going to happen. It will be the equivalent of pulling one of the states of the U.S. out of the Union because of pressure from a foreign power. We can, of course, say this is a risk of serious human rights abuses, and the U.S. government has said this about all kinds of Chinese behavior, but beyond that, it doesn't seem to be doable, and that doesn't necessarily mean the United States has lost its ability to act in the world. It means the world is an imperfect and dangerous place, and we must constantly try to reconcile the national interest against the emotional, the sentimental interest, and to say simply democracy wherever it develops is good is to ignore the lessons of the last 20 years. It was democracy that brought the Muslim Brotherhood to power in Egypt, which certainly was not in the American interest. A small democratic movement in Hong Kong runs the risk of endangering a very complex process of negotiating China's rise to power. This is a very difficult situation. So the administration is probably doing the right thing, I'd say, in responding cautiously, in expressing sympathy, but also saying this needs to be cooled down and in a way that's not going to drag in third parties.
He is Dominic Green, critic, historian, and the life and arts editor of Spectator USA. Dominic, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's always a better experience when you can develop a personal relationship with a business, especially something as important as the marketing and branding of your business materials. At Automated Companies, they take the time to give you personalized service and recommendations to ensure your requirements are met and exceeded. Automated Companies is the only name you need to know for all your marketing and branded materials, like custom printed t-shirts, business cards, stationery, graphic design, embroidered apparel, and branded promo items.
A customer came to us frustrated and disappointed with materials printed by an online company. Nothing was consistent. The colors were off and the quality varied from piece to piece. They needed our help fast. We were able to get their order into production and guarantee we would deliver the product on time for their event. Since then, they have become a loyal customer and recommend Automated Companies to their customers.
Automated Companies supports AM 560's golf charities. Contact them at 630-887-9811 or automatedcentral.com.
Automated Companies. We bring paper and ink to life.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but all of a sudden it kicked in. I don't know how long it took it to kick in, but it kicked in. I feel it. I have more spring in the old step than I did before. Somebody told me, they said, boy, what is with you? You're getting too lively. I said, I just feel great, and I do, and it just hit me all of a sudden. So I am so happy with the product. It's fabulous.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, all new preferred customers will receive an additional 30% discount and free shipping on your first Balance of Nature order. You will also receive an extra $10 off on any additional set of fruits and veggies you purchase. This summer special will expire, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Lake County Right to Life is looking for like-minded people to help save lives, to support women, mothers and fathers, unborn babies, families, and the elderly. Can you help? Lake County Right to Life takes an active part in both the educational and lobbying aspects of the Right to Life movement. They recognize the need to become actively involved in electing pro-life, pro-family legislators and formed the Lake County PAC to elect local Lake County candidates who support life-affirming legislation on your behalf. Legislation that saves thousands of lives and doesn't impose on you, the taxpayer, for the lesser good. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it takes all of us working together to accomplish a society that celebrates life and protects our most vulnerable. For donations or information about educating the public concerning current life issues and legislations, go to the Lake County Right to Life website, lcrtl.org. That's lcrtl.org. You can also follow Lake County Right to Life on Facebook.
The kids grew up so fast. Hard to believe it's been over 20 years since you were playing catch in the backyard or showing your youngest around the kitchen. Lots of memories in this house. But maybe it's time to make new memories in a house that's more suited to your current lifestyle. McNaughton Development brings all the quality, style, and upscale details you love in your current home in a custom home that better suits your present needs. You don't have to scale down and sacrifice everything you love in the home where your kids grew up. With McNaughton, you get the highest quality custom residential construction with exclusive amenities. Right now, McNaughton is building Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge. It's a community with 44 home sites in the heart of the Burr Ridge Village Center, featuring 7 refined ranch and first-floor master 2-story floor plans. You can walk to the finest restaurants and shops in Burr Ridge and enjoy maintenance-free living in a park setting with natural lake. Now, through September 30th, save $25,000 on options. To learn more about Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge and their other suburban communities, visit luxuryemptynester.com.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
For more than 50 years, Mueller CPA, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm, has been serving clients in Chicagoland. Dave Nissen, Mueller's managing partner, is here to explain Mueller CPA's history, journey, and opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Our firm was started by Al Mueller as a one-person CPA firm in 1968. Through growth and partnerships, Mueller CPA has blossomed from a regional firm to an organization that provides services worldwide. Mueller is a reflection of our years of listening and caring for our clients, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for our professionals and support personnel. We value the human side of our business and recognize it as being the most important element of our success. We are growing, we are hiring, and we welcome your interest in our firm.
If you are looking for your first opportunity or your forever career, join an award-winning team that cares about you. Visit the career page at MuellerCPA.com or call Dave directly at 630-524-5274.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, we're coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream this morning, and Amy just sold a car.
I sure did. There's a gentleman, Larry, from Bartlett, who stopped by to say hi to us. Sign up to win free tickets to Freedom Summit Chicago, which you should do because we're here because Joe Cotton Ford is the proud sponsor of Freedom Summit which is coming here Saturday, November 2nd. But back to Larry. So he was standing here chatting with us and said that he was about to buy a car here last year, but something happened. So now we got him hooked up.
You take your commission check from Tracy Conn and you buy yourself a car here.
I want to buy a Ford Escape. That's what I think I'm eyeballing right now. So
okay,
we'll get into that later when we interviewed Tracy
Make
from
sure
Joe Cotton Ford at 8:38.
Make sure they throw in the rust proofing.
Okay.
You got to demand
really?
the rust proofing. Yeah, that's key. All right, Rochester TSA. This is a fun story. I'm not going to tell it. I'll let the newsreaders at ABC7 tell it.
In New York, an airport security worker is without a job because of a 2-word message she wrote on a piece of paper. Here's security video of the incident in Neil Strassner. He requested it himself. As he passes through a metal detector, the TSA agent hands him a note. Not thinking much about it, Strassner continues to go about boarding his flight when the agent calls back to him. Open it. Strassner read the note, which read, quote, "You ugly."
You never know where somebody is really in their day or their head. The more you think about it, the more you come to the conclusion it's easier to smile than do this.
Yeah. Strassner says at the end of the footage, the agent is seen pulling out a pen and a piece of paper, so he does not think he was the only one to get a note. The TSA released a statement saying they investigated the matter after receiving the complaint and fired that employee days later.
Rude and then bad grammar to boot.
I actually find that little jape sort of entertaining. I mean, the TSA agent, I guess you shouldn't do it, but I don't know.
Are you ugly?
You ugly. You ugly. You mom said you ugly. Remember that from Wildcats?
You ugly. What? You ugly. You ugly. You ugly. Your mama said you ugly. U-G-L-Y, and you ain't got no alibi. You ugly.
Yeah. That was Goldie Hawn's best movie.
Was she trying to flirt with him
I
in
wish
a
more-
weird way?
I wish
Or is
more-
he really ugly? Does anybody see a picture of this guy? I mean, is he ugly? Ugly.
It wasn't attractive. It wasn't attractive
I'll
to me.
decide if he's attractive.
I wish, by the way, I wish more high school cheerleading squads would have that sort of
I know.
attitude with their cheers. That'd be fun. But everybody's a snowflake today, so
No, you can't do it.
they'd be
Remember, I
crying
did
on the
cheering
field.
last year. You can't do it.
What about the TSA agent? I mean, you have run-ins with airport people all the time. I've seen it on our trips.
Oh.
You're a very difficult passenger.
No,
How do you
it's just
react?
that there's different rules for different TSA screenings. You know, sometimes you can wear your boots, sometimes you can't. I'm TSA, approved, so
She's
I
in
should have
Rochester.
to take off my boots. But anyway, this guy's not that ugly.
It doesn't matter. I think you're missing the point. It's not the subjective whether he's attractive or not. She's passing. She's in Rochester, New York. Nobody's
Passing
coming
him.
through. She's got a little piece of paper and she's just writing notes to the
She's
passengers,
bored.
having a little bit of fun with them.
She's bored. There's nobody
That's
going
what I mean.
through Rochester.
That's what I mean. She's passing the time.
Saying you're having a.
I like the attitude. It's a little bit funny. I mean,
think
as
she
long
was
as she can
flirting with
she
him.
can give and take. I mean, she's no prom queen either.
Well,
by
hey
the
now,
way,
hey
you know,
now.
I mean, so if she can give and take. I mean,
It's a microaggression.
I think it makes the whole screening process a little bit more fun. Oh.
Then she tells him to read the note.
I wouldn't have
I
fired
thought
her.
maybe her number was going to be on it or something.
Apparently not.
No, not her number. Maybe her number because she's looking for work. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, are we coming for, or is the recession coming for us or not? Larry Kudlow says no. We'll ask Jonathan Honig, the capitalist pig, what he says at 8:08.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, a missing Crown Point, Indiana girl has been found safe in Arkansas. A porch collapse on the south side leaves one man seriously hurt. Former Bears running back Cedric Benson killed in a motorcycle crash in Austin, Texas. Justin Thomas, your winner of the BMW Championship. Cubs cruise past the Buccos in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and the Angels beat the White Sox. Partly sunny, warm, and humid today. WIND Chicago News Time. It's 8 o'clock.
President Trump says the economy is going to be fine. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. A new survey of economists finds around a third of them expect a recession in the next year or two. The message from the White House is no, that prediction's wrong. At the White House, here's Fox's John Decker.
Amid concerns of a global economic slowdown, President Trump said he's prepared for everything, but said that most economists don't think a U.S. recession is on the horizon. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross on Fox News also touting the strength of the U.S. economy and downplaying the negative impacts of the trade dispute with China.
There's very little inflation in the consumer economy. So thus far, there has
not been any real basis for saying the tariffs have hurt the consumer.
The president conceded that economies around the world, including the European Union, are not doing well. Chris?
John, at least 66 people are reported hurt in a series of explosions, at least 10 of them in eastern Afghanistan, as the country marks Independence Day. A former member of Great Britain's royal family is trying to distance himself from a former friend.
Buckingham Palace saying Prince Andrew, the Queen's son, is appalled by Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes, adding that any suggestion of a link to the prince is abhorrent. The palace responding after a newspaper here published a photograph said to show Andrew inside Epstein's home in New York, waving goodbye to a young woman. The Mail on Sunday reporting the photo was taken in 2010, 2 years after Epstein pleaded guilty to a felony prostitution charge in Florida. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in jail in New York, being held without bail on sex trafficking charges. An Iranian oil tanker is now back at sea after being detained for about a month in Gibraltar. Our government on Friday had asked for that tanker to be held on suspicion of violating U.S. economic sanctions through ties to a U.S.-designated terrorist organization. America is listening to Fox News.
Skies are fair. We have 72 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. They are breathing a sigh of relief this morning in Crown Point, Indiana, where a teen is safe. She went missing over the weekend. Madison Edelman was located safe in Arkansas, and a man, Alexander Curry Fishtorn, was taken into custody after a statewide Amber Alert was issued for the 16-year-old. 41-year-old man was shot and killed Sunday night near Calumet Beach on the southeast side. Chicago police say the victim was sitting near a playground when a 25-year-old man approached and shot him twice in the stomach. That man was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, later pronounced dead. The shooter was arrested near the scene. The mother of an Indiana man killed in an officer-involved shooting says the Gary, Indiana Police Department story is not adding up. Rashad Cunningham's family has hired a lawyer in hopes of getting all the answers after the 25-year-old was fatally shot outside of his Gary home on Saturday morning. A man is seriously hurt after a porch he was standing on collapsed on Chicago's south side. That porch gave way in the 8100 block of South May. That victim fell 20 feet to the ground and is recovering at Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn. Justin Thomas wins the BMW Championship, shooting a final round 68 at Medina Country Club. Cubs over the Pirates 7-1. Angels beat the White Sox 9-2. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. It's a service of Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. From the Fox Business Network, here's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Estée Lauder is reporting a stronger than expected quarter. The company is calling it outstanding financial results, though the quarter did include expenses for restructuring. Sales were up 9%. There was improvement in nearly every category. Estée Lauder is a major beauty and skincare company. Its brands include Aramis, Clinique, Bobbi Brown, Bumble & Bumble, MAC, Smashbox, Prescriptives, and others. A survey of economists reveals more than a third believe the U.S. is heading for a recession to happen within the next 2 years. 34% of those surveyed by the National Association for Business Economics expect a recession in the U.S. by the end of 2021. Yesterday, President Trump dismissed concerns about a recession, saying we're doing tremendously well. This morning, both China and Germany have taken steps to prop up their economies. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Automated Systems Incorporated, HealthInsuranceMentors.com, Crumweedy Roofing, and by Joe Cotton Ford in Carroll Stream.
Vein Clinics of America wants to know, when's the last time you felt comfortable in your own skin?
Are you kidding me? I haven't worn shorts in years.
Every summer, I'm the only guy on the beach wearing long pants.
Wearing slacks to hide my compression hose sure doesn't make me feel any younger.
Listen, you're not alone. Many men and women are embarrassed about their bulging varicose and spider veins, not to mention the pain and how uncomfortable they make you feel.
I would get home from work and my legs were swollen and throbbing.
Why deal with this any longer? Let Vein Clinics of America help you discover healthy, better-looking legs. For over 35 years, Vein Clinics of America has been the leading expert in the minimally invasive treatment of vein disease. Imagine wearing a swimsuit or shorts with confidence and getting back to normal activities. It's time to feel comfortable in your own skin again. VCA accepts most major insurance plans. Call now to see if you qualify for a free consultation. Call 800-891-4900. 800-891-4900. That's 800-891-4900.
Driving is freedom. The freedom to keep moving, to control your destiny, and to choose your path. And now, that freedom fits in the palm of your hand. It's called Ford Pass, the only app that gives you roadside assistance, Ford Pass rewards, and now when you buy or lease a new Ford, earn points you can use toward flexible complimentary maintenance that gives you, well, more freedom. Ford Pass, built to keep you moving. Built Ford proud. Visit your participating Ford dealership to find out about getting flexible complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Ford and sign up for rewards.
Roadside assistance is included for certain Ford owners and available to everyone for a per-service fee. Ford reserves the right to change program details without obligations. Visit your participating dealer or FordPassRewards.com for program rules and restrictions. Ford Pass, compatible with select smartphone platforms, is available via a download.
It's 8:07 in the AM 560 traffic center, and the very latest with Jim Telemonte.
Eastbound Reagan Tollway traffic is now very heavy from 31 to Farnsworth and Winfield Road to Yackley. Veterans Memorial northbound, it's bottled up from I-55 to Roosevelt and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. The northbound tri-state delays are 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge, southbound it's slow, 60 to Deerfield Road. Eden's 20 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose. Kennedy, 35 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 18 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Eisenhower, 1 hour, 390 to downtown, 42 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson is an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. And that's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Steve Williams.
A warm and humid day. It'll be partly sunny. The high today 85. Partly cloudy tonight and a low 68. Clouds and sun. Another warm and humid day tomorrow. Shower and thunderstorm for the late afternoon. A high tomorrow 86. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
72 at O'Hare. Next news 8:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
If it hadn't been for Joe Cotton Ford, I'd still be driving a beautiful car. Now we go live to Dan and Amy, broadcasting from Joe Cotton Ford.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and yes, we are live at Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream this morning, kicking off our ticket sales for Freedom Summit 2019. That's November 2nd. Our premium tickets have already sold out, and when you hear this lineup, you'll understand why.
Yeah, we have Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, our good friend Lara Logan will be here, Sebastian Gorka, Molly Hemingway. Sebastian. There's two ladies, Molly Hemingway, Carrie Severino from Justice on Trial. They're the authors of that. Rusty Reno, Ed Morrissey from hotair.com, and Will Chamberlain from Of Human Events. If you want to get your tickets, please go to freedomsummitchicago.com. Of course, our main sponsor of the event, Joe Cotton Ford. They're the proud sponsor. So Freedom Summit is coming Saturday, November 2nd at the Chicago Westin Northwest in Itasca. And if you want to win or enter to win a chance to win 2 free tickets. Come on down to Joe Cotton Ford here on North Avenue and Gary, and enter a chance to win. And good
I
luck.
loved Will Chamberlain when he played for the Philadelphia Warriors.
Yeah, it's a different.
I can't wait to use all those jokes on November 2nd.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he's never heard him before.
Larry Kudlow was on Meet the Press. Don't know why Trump administration officials continue to indulge Chuck Todd, but they do. Kudlow was on, and he was asked, of course, about the recession talk, which dominated last week. You're, of course, going to get the Norman Vincent Peale optimism from President Trump. So more interested, frankly, in what Larry Kudlow has to say about what he's seeing. Not that he's always been right. He's an optimist, too. But this is what he said to that question.
Well, I tell you what, I sure don't see a recession. We had some blockbuster retail sales consumer numbers towards the back end of last week, really blockbuster numbers. And in fact, despite a lot of worries with the volatile stock market, most economists on Wall Street towards the end of the week had been marking up their forecast for the third and fourth quarter. That echoes our view. You know, what we've got here, consumers are working at higher wages. Right. They are spending at a rapid pace. They're actually saving also while they're spending. That's an ideal situation. So I think actually the second half of the economy is going to be very good in 2019.
And he went on to suggest that you shouldn't be afraid to be optimistic, saying that he doesn't see anything pre-2008 in the offing. Not that people are predicting a crash, but some are predicting a slowdown. What is the Capitalist Pig predicting? For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by Jonathan Honig, the Capitalist Pig, also the author of the book, A New Textbook for Americanism, The Politics of Ayn Rand. Jonathan, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan and Amy, great to be with you. Look, I think you should be an optimist, right? I mean, no matter what side of the aisle you wake up on, we are living in the most capitalist, the most individualistic, still the most free country in the history of the world. This is the country where the new economy is still being built. So, yeah, Dan, I think you should be optimistic, but I also think you should be realistic. And for a moment, just kind of take politics out of this. And with respect to Mr. Kudlow, look at some of the indicators. The inverted yield curve is just one that are sending some worrisome signs. So I agree you should be optimistic, but I also think it's a good time to be realistic. We're very late into an economic expansion, and there's some warning signs on the horizon.
And Peter Navarro was on. He was on, I think, this week, and he said that the Feds, of course, need to cut interest rates, and they keep banging this drum that that's going to make everything better.
Well, the funny thing is that this has been tried before. Being tried now in Europe, which is thinking further and further into recession, and it's been tried, in fact, Amy, in Japan for almost 25 years. That is, these ultra-low interest rates designed to spur economic growth. It hasn't helped. It hasn't helped in Europe. It certainly hasn't helped in Japan in a couple of generations. And so far, these ultra-low interest rates, in fact, negative in some parts of the world, guys, haven't helped spur economic growth. But the irony is that what Peter Navarro doesn't want to talk about is what most CEOs, big and small, are talking about. I mean, can you imagine trying to have to plan your own life, let alone your own multi-billion-dollar business, 6 months out, a year out, 5 years out, without even knowing something as basic as what are your costs, what are your taxes going to be? That's the trade dilemma that's facing the American economy right now. That's not what Peter Navarro wants to talk about because he's in part happened to cause it. He's part of the problem, in effect.
Well, he did say this to Jake Tapper.
China is slashing their prices.
These tariffs aren't hurting anybody in the United
States.
They're
not hurting anybody here.
Then why?
Okay? They're hurting China.
Not hurting anybody here, those tariffs on Chinese goods. And one analysis from financial consultants at Gordon Haskett Research shows cost increases that have taken a hold in a typical shopping basket of 76 regular items from Target and Walmart. Cost roughly 5% more in June than it did in October of 2018. So, of course, taxes are being passed on to the consumers, and it's raising the price, and it's diminishing competition, which also leads to price increases.
Dan, you get it. I mean, it seems as if every prominent economist agrees on that, and this is basic common sense 101. Tariffs, of course, are being paid on the American consumer. Now, Peter Navarro and others in the administration might say, well, it's not having that big of an impact so far, but I mean, case in point, obviously we know President Obama took back those proposed tariffs on Chinese goods is, according to him, in effect, to try to save Christmas. But now we have that paradox. Well, if the American consumer isn't paying for it, what difference would it make? It just comes down to certainty, Dan and Amy. We're trying to make plans. We're trying to think long term. And just like, for example, during Obama's stimulus plan or all those programs from cash on clunkers down, every time government intervenes in the economy, free people simply don't know what to do, don't know how to act. And that's why you're seeing capital expenditure and also consumer confidence. Last week, we got the lowest print in consumer confidence of the year. A lot of that is directly attributable to trade.
But if we do possibly go into a recession, I mean, don't you think that could be the possible end of President Trump?
Well, historically, Amy, that has been the case. A first-term Republican president with a recession has a tendency not to get elected. I just think for our purposes as investors, and again, for me, it doesn't matter if you've got $1 million in the bank or $1,000 in the bank. We're trying to make those decisions and think long term and do what's best of our money. So, I don't think you can, just as a lot of people, for example, were against the market during the Obama years because they didn't like the politics, I don't think you can necessarily be a bull just because you like the president's politics. The president might have wonderful politics, but you have to be realistic and not only look at the market, Dan and Amy, but also look at your own situation, your own debts. One of the things for me as a financial advisor that's been so worrisome during this expansion, and look, Kudlow is right. People are earning more, the economy, all that is good. But people are also taking on dramatically higher levels of debt than they have since the Great Recession. So, my 2 cents, Amy, look, ultimately we can't control politics, but we can control our own bottom line. So if the economy is good right now, which all the indicators seem to be, take this opportunity to pay down some of that debt. Put yourself on a sound financial footing so that when the next downturn comes, doesn't matter what it's Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. When it comes, you're prepared. End of story.
Well, that's good financial advice, but I tell you what, I don't have so much sympathy for the person who behaves in their personal life like they vote at the ballot box. So, I mean, if you vote for a government that lives beyond its means and you live beyond your means, and you suffer more of a hit when bad times come than the person who planned for the bad times, I mean, that's what happens in a free society, and thus there was such opposition to so many bailouts in the 2008 bubble. Everybody focused on the 1 in 8 homeowners who were in foreclosure. What about the 7 in 8 who were not?
Yeah, well, it's a great point, Dan. But bailouts have become. Look, ask the Democrats, and they would tell you that the stimulus and the bailouts worked. They're crowing about so-called saving General Motors. So I don't think for a minute that the bailouts aren't going to stop once that financial downturn comes. I mean, one of the interesting elements of the trade war, Dan and Amy, has been shares of some of the big U.S. steel and aluminum manufacturers, Alcoa and the U.S. Steel. Those are the big U.S. manufacturers of steel and aluminum. They're down by about 70%, their stock prices, since the trade war started. So, look, we're going to see bailouts for those with student loans. We could see bailouts for steel companies before it's all over. And this is just part of the uncertainty that's facing the American economy right now. Big government under Democrats, but under Republicans too.
Yeah, and I mean, part of the conversation, I think this is being subordinated to sort of the justice versus social justice choice in 2020. But there still is, at minimum, a secondary debate about free enterprise versus socialism. And so to the point you made and Kudlow made about people are getting wealthier across all quintiles, this is an important one, and I think it's one that needs to be emphasized a little bit more by those who are proponents of free enterprise. A good piece in Reason Magazine, which I know you're an avid reader, looked at some of the data over time, and this is sort of agnostic, right? Because this crosses over Democrat presidents, Republican presidents, both parties being in charge of the houses of Congress during this time. One study finds when you compare the income of parents working in the early 60s to their children's income from the early 2000s, 84% earn more than their parents corrected for inflation. 93% of children in the poorest households, the bottom 20%, surpassed their parents. In point of fact, it was in the top quintile where you had only 70% of those raised in the top quintile exceeded their parents' income when you compare it so sort of intergenerationally, like this longitudinal study they did. So, and you've seen Bolshevik Bernie is running around saying the working class has shrunk. The working class has shrunk, right? Because people have moved up a quintile or two. The percentage of American families during the period 1979 to 2014, Americans in the middle class, lower middle class, and the poor fell from 38 to 32, 23 to 17, 23 to 19, respectively. The upper middle income category jumped from about 30% to 52%. So the shrinking of the bottom three quintiles didn't mean that you had people shrinking down. You had people leveling up, and that's a sort of an important context to the story that's not properly told by the press corps, of course.
Yes, Dan, absolutely. I mean, there's this big thing made these days about how, no one's life has improved. The middle class, the poor, no one's life has improved, supposedly, according to these leftists, in the last 30, 40 years. It's just as bad as they've ever been. They painted as some kind of dark ages. And you have to chuckle at that, Dan, because I say to these people, just reach in your damn pocket and pull out that phone that's in your pocket now, that $400 or $500 phone, which essentially almost anyone, even those in the so-called middle class, can afford. Damn, that packs the computing power of what a crazed supercomputer did even 20 or 30 years ago. So this obsessive focus on income, I think, is misplaced. What you really want to focus is on standard of living and quality of life. And, of course, in a free society, it's consistently improving. Companies ranging from, Uber, Amazon, Apple, they're falling over themselves to offer us better and better deals, better and better values. So you want to keep the economy going, keep the freedom going. That's what we need more than anything in Washington right now.
So I was talking to a friend who was talking to some Wall Street heavyweights, and they said their apocalyptic scenario for the economy is Trump doesn't get reelected. Because whatever
That's the only thing they have now.
Whatever their disagreements with Trump on trade policy, this or that, the apocalyptic scenario for the American economy, for growth, for entrepreneurship, is anybody other than Trump gets elected.
Well, I guess, Dan, for me, as someone who's invested professionally for 20 years, you have to take a line from Gordon Gekko, who from Wall Street, the movie, who famously said, "Don't get emotional about stocks." A lot of people thought, for example, when Trump was elected, it would be boom time for oil stocks. Well, they're down 40, 50, 60% in just the last couple of years because of lower oil prices. So focus on the money. As Neil Cavuto, my friend, always says, you're not red or blue, you're green. Focus on the money. Focus on your situation. And when it comes to making those investment decisions, as hard as it is, sometimes you got to leave politics at the door.
All right, Blue Horseshoe loves Anacott Steel. Jonathan Honig, capitalist pig, author of the book, a new textbook of Americanism, The Politics of Ayn Rand. Jonathan, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Discover Westmont, a community nestled in the heart of DuPage County. With top-notch schools, beautiful affordable housing, and excellent dining and shopping, Westmont makes a great place to live, work, and play. Choose Westmont. Discover how your business can flourish and grow with a wonderful central location providing rapid access to Chicago's key expressways, airports, and many family-friendly amenities. Add quick transportation on the Burlington train line, and that means simple and easy travel for everyone. Westmont is committed to working collaboratively with you to facilitate inquiries about your family or business relocation. We'll help your company navigate to Westmont for a great experience. Call Larry Forsberg at Westmont Economic Development at 630-824-9337. That's 630-824-9337 to find out about incentives that can help you plan your development, relocation, or expansion. Discover all Westmont has to offer. For more information, visit ChooseWestmont.com. That's ChooseWestmont.com.
It's almost time to send the kids back to school. More and more parents are thinking about sending them to a private school. Maybe that's you. Well, private school has never been more affordable thanks to halfpriceschools.com, where you can find tuition vouchers for private schools across Chicagoland, available at half of the normal price. No catch. It's simple. Find a school near you, purchase the voucher, prepare to send your child off to school. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including Westminster Christian in Elgin, Kingswood Academy in Darien, Calvin Christian in South Holland, Faith Evangelical Lutheran in Antioch, Trinity Lutheran in Lombard, Covenant Christian in Aurora, and Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights. So don't delay. School is upon us. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. Many of these vouchers have already sold out, so do not wait. Visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Hey, my friend's retail store was the victim of IoT password theft.
Yep. Cyber criminals are taking over security cameras, payment systems, and other IoT devices by exploiting vulnerabilities.
What if they target us and our dispersed network?
We're secured with Barracuda. We have advanced firewalls for our sites, enhanced security for our cloud infrastructure, and total email protection.
Such a relief.
Protect your business at Barracuda.com. Barracuda, your journey secured.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents and Doug.
Limu, there's a woman threatening to sign up for generic car insurance. Grab your birdseed and let's go.
I'm going to sign these papers right here, right now.
Ma'am, drop the pen. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Thanks, Limu, Emu, and Doug.
Don't thank us, thank Liberty Mutual, but also thank us.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer. State laws apply.
Hey, admit it. Are you getting enough fruits and veggies in your diet at all those summer barbecues where there's hot dogs and beer and brats? Not a lot of veggies for you to eat. That's why you should take 6 capsules of Balance of Nature. With that, you're getting 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies. It's really that easy and convenient. Help boost your metabolism. If you're feeling a little run down, you should try Balance of Nature. You have nothing to lose. Experience the difference for yourself. You know, all the time here on AM 560, you hear the testimonials of people whose lives have changed because of Balance of Nature. Here's what you do right now, 25% off plus free shipping. And if you order now, you will get a convenient travel bottle containing a free additional week supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. And again, you'll still receive free shipping on every order. It's a limited offer and it may end anytime, so act now. 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Discount code Chicago or go to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford this morning, kicking off our Freedom Summit 2019 ticket sales. November 2nd, Freedom Summit at the Westin Itasca.
Yeah, a lot of people pouring through.
And we had that big public funeral for one of the El Paso victims on Friday, Amy.
Yeah, Margie Records, she'd always shop at that Walmart there near the airport. And her husband, Tony, they'd been married for 30 plus years. And when she died, he was so worried that nobody would go to the funeral because they never had children. Her family members had, passed away, and they didn't have anyone in the area. So he met with a funeral director and said, well, can I put this out on Facebook? I want everyone to come because everyone has showed so much love in El Paso. And that's what they did. People came from all over. They came from California. They came from Utah. They came from Arizona just to give them support.
We didn't know Margie, but I had to tell my family we have to be there as a family, all of us.
And that woman there, they came from Utah to go to her funeral. About 1,000 people showed up. The line to get into the wake was about 2 hours. And this wasn't about politics. This wasn't about who inspired who to create this mass shooting. It was about law enforcement, too, coming together. This FBI agent, one of 30, who was there to show his respect.
It is people from all walks of life, any and every type, coming together and just showing support for someone that they've never met before. That, to me, is the heart and soul of El Paso.
And this young woman, she's a local girl, she summed it up best.
We kind of feel like you can only donate so much blood, buy so many T-shirts.
Showing up here means something different.
Yes, it feels more emotional.
There's an interesting Chicago connect to the Diocese of El Paso. Many of the priests there formed in Mundelein.
Oh, wow.
Father Mike Lewis is an El Paso native and priest at St. Pius the 10th in El Paso, located a mile from where the shooting took place. He led a prayer vigil in honor of 20 victims, preaching about how love will overcome hatred. He talked about crying with the victims and the victims' families that night, going to the hospital to help with the anointings. He added, in that moment, I was trying to do most I could do to help people be with God. So just nice to see a Chicago connect on the clergy side too. That's just another interesting way the ties bind here in the wake of that massacre.
And we can't, forget Greg Zanis. He makes those crosses, and that's his full-time job now. If there's ever a mass shooting, he goes and puts up white crosses for every single victim, and that has given Tony such great solace because he goes to see his wife's cross every day outside of that Walmart. And Greg Zanis had to leave from El Paso and drove straight to Dayton to deliver crosses for those victims. So kudos to him. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Sort of keeping on topic, a shocking conversation about suffering between Anderson Cooper and Stephen Colbert. Stunning at 8:38.
And later, we'll interview our key sponsor of Freedom Summit Chicago. But now let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
With sunshine and 73 degrees. An Ohio man is heading to court today accused of making threats against the Jewish community. FBI agents say James Reardon posted video online in which he identified himself as a gunman near a local synagogue, even though shooting never took place. Investigations in New Jersey and Mississippi could lead to charges against the parents of kids who died in hot cars on Friday. 22-month-old girl died after she was found unresponsive in a van outside of a commuter rail station in Lindenwold, New Jersey. It's not far from Philly. And police in Boonville, Mississippi may decide today whether to file charges in that child in a hot car case. The CDC is putting full and time investigators onto the issue after dozens have been hospitalized with lung illnesses linked to vaping, including 30 cases alone in Wisconsin. The White House downplaying the risk of recession.
I don't see a recession at all.
That on Fox News Sunday, economic advisor and expert Larry Kudlow kind of deflecting the question when asked if the Trump administration is considering steps to stave off a potential recession after short-term U.S. Treasury bonds last week fell below yields for long-term bonds. A Crown Point, Indiana teen is safe. She went missing over the weekend. Madison Edelman was located in Arkansas, and Alexander Curry Fishtorn was taken into custody. The mother of an Indiana man killed in an officer-involved shooting says Gary, Indiana Police Department story doesn't add up. Rashad Cunningham's family has hired a lawyer in hopes of getting answers after the 25-year-old was fatally shot outside of his Gary home early on Saturday morning. And 4 female police officers in Markham have alleged gender discrimination in complaints filed with the Illinois Department of Human Rights. The Daily Southtown reports the complaints followed Terry White's promotion to chief of police last year. Justin Thomas, your winner of the BMW Championship at Medina Country Club. Cubs over the Pirates 7-1. Angels beat the White Sox 9-2. Checking your money on Wall Street, the Dow was up 310 in early trading. The news service of LifeLock with Norton. No one wants to wake up to the news that they're the victim of identity theft or that malware is compromising their smartphone. That's why LifeLock with Norton now includes protections for your identity and devices. Join LifeLock.com, promo code RISK to get 10% off your first year. 8:33 is our time, and we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't miss Freedom Summit 2019. Coming to the Chicago West and Northwest in Itasca on Saturday, November 2nd. This year featuring headline speakers Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Sebastian Gorka, and Laura Logan. Get your tickets today at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Best Dental Group of Bartlett, Charles Equipment Energy Systems, Independent Health Insurance Agent Tom Mirabaldi, Clear Financial Strategies, and by Monarch Technical.
Message and data rates may apply. Please don't text while driving.
If you've been in business more than 20 minutes, you've probably printed your logo on all kinds of promotional products. We all know promotional products work because they're everywhere from sales meetings and corporate events to trade shows. Ever wondered why or how to best use promotional products to grow your business? Let us show you today for free. We're 4imprint, promotional product experts at your service. We're giving away an ebook called Promotional Products Work, absolutely free, to everyone who texts radio to 88988. At 4imprint, we make your logo look perfect on thousands of promotional items. With our 100% guarantee, it'll be right the first time, on time, every time. Your free ebook will reveal valuable insights that can attract new customers, build your brand, help your cause, or simply grow your business. Get the ebook Promotional Products Work absolutely free by texting RADIO to 88988. That's RADIO to 88988.
The following statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Amberen trials tested mild to moderate symptoms. Testimonial is based on 90 days of use. Results may vary. IRI US MULO, 52 weeks by UPC.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou Retton, and I want to talk to you about something I haven't liked to talk about until now, my menopause. All my life, I've had energy to win gold in '84. But when menopause hit me, with the hot flashes and the night sweats, I began to feel sluggish every day. That all changed when I discovered Amberen.
Amberen safely relieves 12 menopause symptoms by helping to restore your hormonal balance. Amberen is 100% drug-free, estrogen-free, and clinically tested. Amberen is America's #1 menopause relief supplement.
Thanks to Amberen, my fear of hot flashes is gone. My sheets aren't soaked every night, and my energy is back. Give Amberen a try and see what it can do for you. It works. It really works.
Hurry to your Walmart, Walgreens, Target, and other fine retailers nationwide and get Amberen today.
Blue Emu supports healthy muscles and joints. Blue Emu works fast and you won't stink.
8:36 AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here is Jim Telemonti.
Inbound Kennedy traffic is heavy Canfield to Harlem and Irving Park to the Burn Circle. 58 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 48 from Montrose. 41 on the Express. Outbound 42 to the airport. The Edens runs 19 minutes Lake Cook to Junction, but outbound 39. Eisenhower 1 hour 390 to downtown. Now there's a crash reported at East Avenue. Outbound 58 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 43 minutes. The Ryan, 35 minutes, 95th to downtown. The southbound Tri-State is tight, 60 to Deerfield. Northbound 95th to 31st. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge, it's on Reagan Tollway delays are from 31 to Yackley. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, partly sunny, warm and humid, high 85. Partly cloudy, 68 overnight. We have 73 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Build business with Chamber 630, one of the largest business organizations in DuPage County. Marketing your business and connecting clients is their priority. Visit chamber630.com or call 630-968-4050 to join today.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. We're coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream this morning, kicking off Freedom Summit 2019. Our ticket sales, November 2nd. Premium tickets are already gone. That went fast.
Yeah, that didn't take long.
And but there's still general admission tickets available for our robust lineup of conservative intellectual stars.
And we're going to get into that more when we speak to our key sponsor, Tracy Kahn of Joe Cotton Ford. He'll be joining us in a little bit. But yeah, the lineup, Michelle Malkin, Sean Hannity, Laura Logan, Sebastian Gorka, Molly Hemingway, and the list goes on and on. So go to freedomsummitchicago.com, freedomsummitchicago.com, and get your tickets because this event always sells out.
Yeah, bring your gloves so you can catch those footballs that Hannity throws around.
That's right.
All right, this is just, I'm stunned watching this. Stunned. Anderson Cooper sitting down with Stephen Colbert. And you think, obviously, the topic they're going to talk about is Christian suffering. No, but that's what they talked about. And Colbert, a fellow Northwestern grad, value my degree just declined again, had this to say about his understanding of suffering from a Christian perspective. Boy, you don't hear this much on the his late night show. You don't hear this much in his conversations and observations about politics. That's why it was so shockingly, pleasantly revealing.
You told an interviewer that you have learned to, in your words, love the thing that I most wish had not happened.
Is he crying?
Yeah, I remember. You went on to say, what punishments of God are not gifts? Do you really believe that?
Yes. It's a gift to exist. It's a gift to exist. And with existence comes suffering. There's no escaping that. And I guess I'm either a Catholic or a Buddhist when I say those things, because I've heard those from both traditions. But I didn't learn it that I was grateful for the thing I most wish hadn't happened, is that I realized it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, and it's an oddly guilty feeling.
It doesn't mean you are happy.
I don't want it to have happened. I want it to not have happened.
Right.
But if you are grateful for your life, which I think is a positive thing to do, not everybody is, right. And I'm not always, but it's the most positive thing to do, then you have to be grateful for all of it. You can't pick and choose what you're grateful for. And then, so what do you get from loss? You get awareness of other people's loss.
Well, that's true. Empathy.
Which allows you to connect with that other person, right. Which allows you to love more deeply and to understand what it's like to be a human being, if it's true that all humans suffer. Not only accepts that all of us suffer, but it also then makes you grateful for the fact that you have suffered, so that you can know that about other people. And that's what I mean. It's about the fullness of your humanity. Mm-hmm. What's the point of being here and being human if you can't be the most human you can be? I'm not saying best, because you're going to be a bad person and a most human. I want to be the most human I can be. And that involves acknowledging and ultimately being grateful for the things that I wish didn't happen, because they gave me a gift.
And his understanding of suffering in the context of Christ's sacrifice.
This is, the suffering is the, sadness, suffering, these are all, you can't have happiness without having loss and suffering.
And in my tradition, that's the great gift of the sacrifice of Christ, is that God does it too. Mm. That you're really not alone. God does it too.
It's sort of remarkable because of what a champagne socialist Colbert otherwise is. I mean, have you heard him speak up for the sanctity of human life?
Never.
Have you heard him?
The format of a show, but still he could, get it in there somehow.
Well, I mean, he opines in a serious matter on politics routinely. So does Gloria Vanderbilt's kid. Have you ever heard this discussion? I mean, they're otherwise happy to join in the denunciation and caricaturing of Christians. And then you hear this. I mean, it's hopeful in one sense, and it's sort of perplexing in another. The thing about what Colbert is saying, too, is very interesting. So he gets part of it, but only part of it. What's the one thing he didn't express in terms of his understanding of suffering from a Christian perspective? And that's one of the other benefits of suffering, is it makes you realize how dependent you are on God. So he's right to talk about it's empathy for other human beings, and you become somebody that can, because suffering happens in a community, that you can then be there for somebody else who's suffering. There's that communal aspect to it, that human aspect. But he's sort of talking about it like a secular humanist until he talks about Christ's sacrifice as the example. But it's just remarkable to hear. I'm so happy that he got as far as he did.
Right.
In talking about it, even if he didn't sort of get 100% on the exam. I mean, from anybody in the media, Hollywood entertainment, 70%, that's graded on a curve.
Right.
So it's just very, and for Anderson Cooper to clearly reflect on his own suffering in the context of this conversation they were going to have. It's just a very, very interesting moment for them to have. I just wish he would develop it. I wish he would talk about existence as a gift. Well, if existence is a gift, then what do you say about life in the womb? If existence is a gift, then what do you say about euthanasia and the drive for euthanasia in California, Oregon, Washington State? People become inconvenient. The way to deal with that is just to off them or let them off themselves, but encouraging them to do so. You've lost your utility. We're very, very much utilitarian when it comes to life. At least that's a lot of the discussion you hear in politics and certainly from the secular media. So, I mean, gosh, I wonder if this will get picked up anywhere and amplified and spark this larger conversation. So, because I hope it does. I mean, to borrow from a secular perspective on the idea of conversion, William F. Buckley, you always have to give room for people to come over to your side. I'm happy to give room for Stephen Colbert to come over to our side, even if it's limited on this, because it's such an important conversation, because most people are very sentimental about suffering. They don't see the value that it has. And I'm shocked. I'm shocked that even if Colbert knew it because he was taught it at one time, that he actually suggests that he still abides that perspective, particularly now that he's at the top of his profession and the suffering, at least sort of in terms of worldly things like money and notoriety, is largely over for him. Really interesting conversation. Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carol Stream.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Nothing speaks louder about an auto dealer than a happy customer. And at Joe Cotton Ford, they have many.
I had a 2001 Excursion, was about 6 months old. We got T-boned, $29,000 worth of damage, bent the frame. After a few months, got it back from you guys, and it actually drove and rode better than when I got it from the factory. Well, service visits are always top-notch. Your service department, starting with Dave and going down all your service riders, are just amazing.
Another reason why folks keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Joe Cotton Ford crushes the competition with a first-time ever 20% off new Fords. Yes, 20% off Fusion, 20% off EcoSport, 20% off Escape Edge and F-150. Don't miss this one. 20% off is huge. No hype and no pressure. It's why generations of customers keep coming back for a truly different vehicle buying experience. Joe Cotton Ford, Gary and North Avenue and Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com. joecottonford.com.
Do you have a basement that smells? How about a crawl space that is unfinished? Well, you want to call Permaseal for a free inspection. 1-800-421-SEAL. That's 1-800-421-SEAL. Again, they've been around for 40 plus years. They've helped 40,000 homeowners in Chicago and Northwest Indiana, and they can help you. That's why they have an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call Permaseal today, 1-800-421-SEAL, or simply go to permaseal.net.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
While I'm searching for the perfect balance, there's hundreds of thousands of chemicals just in an apple alone, and hundreds of thousands in an orange, and all of them. If I can just remove the water without damaging all of the other chemistry, then I can pack it more dense. I never imagined that I would be able to get it down to 3 fruit capsules and 3 vegetable capsules and have the same nutrient value as eating over 10 servings of fruits and vegetables every day.
Experience the balance of nature difference for yourself. For a limited time, all new preferred customers will receive an additional 30% discount and free shipping on your first Balance of Nature order. You will also receive an extra $10 off on any additional set of fruits and veggies you purchase. This summer special will expire, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Tom Killoran Photography is ready to memorialize your next event with photos that come to life and preserve the memories for generations. They can accommodate your large group photos to individual portraits, wallet size to panoramic. They can even print your photos on location as a take-home keepsake for your party guests. Visit KilloranPhotography.com. AM 560 The Answer hired Tom Killoran Photography for our annual charity golf outing, and the finished product was amazing. Book Tom Killoran Photography for your upcoming corporate event, family reunion, wedding, bar mitzvah, or any event you want to capture forever. And those old family videos you have on VHS tape, it's time to preserve them forever. Tom Killoran Photography can transfer your beloved memories to DVD and can restore your older faded photos or enlarge them. Visit KilloranPhotography.com. KilloranPhotography.com. KILLORAN Photography.com.
Tasty Catering is bringing outdoor happiness to you and your coworkers this picnic season.
Down-home barbecue, street tacos, sausages and sandwiches, steaks, chops, fish, Greek feasts, pig roasts. The list goes on.
Tasty Catering picnic foods are more deliciously sophisticated than ever. With so many great options, everyone will be happy.
Organic, gluten-free, vegetarian, vegan, and dairy-free options never tasted so picnicky.
And your picnic doesn't stop with amazing freshly grilled food. Entertainment, rentals, decor, venue selection. Get everything you need with one single call to Tasty Catering.
Inflatables and crafts for the kids, games and athletics for the teenagers, beverage packages and entertainment options for the adults. There's so much to choose from.
The best company picnics start at tastycatering.com. View picnic menus, entertainment options, picnic spots, and more. Visit tastycatering.com. tastycatering.com.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other carriers. If you're over 50 and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage every month whether you want it or not. In Chicago, the least expensive PPO health insurance plan under the ACA will cost $572 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $7,900 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium to $278 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $294 a month and over $5,000 with my lower deductible. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Do you ever find yourself wanting more from your child's experience at school? This is Tom Stoner, head of school at Covenant Classical School in Naperville. Our academic program is designed to help students discover the joy of learning, and our teachers use methods that have proven effective for centuries. Our students wrestle with ideas and values that are informed by Christian faith, and they study and learn in a nurturing school community where they are known and loved for who they are. Would your child or a child you know flourish at Covenant Classical School? Come visit the school and see why a current school parent said, "I knew nothing about classical schooling, but when I saw what was happening in the classroom, I fell in love with it." Learn more and set up a visit at covenantclassicalschool.org. That's covenantclassicalschool.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy are coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream this morning. We're launching our Freedom Summit 2019 ticket sales. Yeah. Freedom Summit November 2nd at the Westin in Itasca. And we're pleased to be joined by Crazy Tracy Kahn, whose prices are so low. Everything's got to go.
Slashing prices, liquidation. Just kidding.
Yeah, why don't you have more of a big, crazy Solozzi and Edelson? Where's your Edelson? Where's the Edelson to your Solozzi around here, Tracy?
That's never been our thing. We're the down home people, the family run, family owned for 45 years.
What about the Rockabye Your Baby? I was about that, the Harry Schmerler guy.
The last thing you want to hear is me singing.
What about an English bulldog like the Subaru guy has?
Yeah, you gotta have a
mascot.
I'll work on that.
Okay,
I'll work on that for next year.
All right, so you apparently sell on quality and price to adults, unlike what we're talking about.
That is correct.
So, Joe Cotton Ford, give us the backstory for the people who don't know it. We see all these banners hanging around here, like people who've bought 42 cars from you over 5 generations.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah,
that's right, and it's always been family run. So. Years ago, a customer came in and said, hey, you know how many vehicles I bought here? And we said, no, I have no idea. He said, I bought 8. So we started this thing where we would put on a banner that says, I buy all my cars from Joe Cotton Ford. And people would come in, and it's like a game now. They have to come and find their name when they buy a vehicle so that they can cross out their name and put in how many vehicles they've bought. And if you look around the corner here, there's a family that's bought 82.
Whoa.
And another one that's bought 100.
Do they want to adopt a 50-year-old woman?
Yeah. Could you throw in a free car for them that they can gift to Amy? She'll just pay taxes on the gift.
We'll have to get one with a heavier spring on the right pedal.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. Well, see, I recently rented a Ford Escape when I was in El Paso, and I have to tell you, that thing goes fast, and you don't even know it. I got pulled over going 109.
Wow.
But
Somebody
I didn't even
knew it.
know because
Pistol whipped?
no, I didn't. no, I didn't even know I was going that fast because it was such a sound, solid car.
Yeah, so that 1967 minivan that she has out
Yeah,
front.
exactly. It's vintage.
Yeah, it's
No,
time to
it's
get something better.
I know. I will soon, and with maybe 2 more years.
Think of how fast you could get to the station.
I know, and safely too.
Now, have you started selling Mercedes yet?
Oh my
used,
gosh.
used. I have a used convertible out there.
Do I look like I buy used,
No.
Tracy?
Oh
Sorry.
my
Please, you're insulting me. So tell us, how has business been here in
In the last
scenic
45
Carroll
years.
Stream in the western suburbs? No, I mean now, like how's business being? You know, everybody's buying cars so they can pack up and leave.
Yeah, it's actually been a very good year, and it's really service that keeps us afloat, and service is doing very well. And it's service that keeps customers coming back buying vehicles from us. And so, you know, over the summer we had the 95 and 100-degree weather, and people don't like to go through cars in that weather.
Yeah.
But since then, things have really picked up, and we got the back-to-school thing going on. And
Well, tell us what's the back to school thing going on.
Well, it's sales that we have throughout the year, and it's just the timing, and we're getting into the model year end now. So now they're offering the 20% off on the new Fords.
And I love your service department because if you bring your car in for say an oil change or battery check, you get a free car wash on the way out.
That's right, and I can
And we're
tell
gonna
you
put Dan
somebody.
through
I can
that,
tell you
huh?
somebody with a Mercedes that needs one badly.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean it's going to
yeah.
rain again at some point. You know, that's how
Yeah.
that's how I
Right,
wash
that's
the
how
car.
Between now and October 1st,
Yeah,
it
whatever.
should. I saw it on the
Whatever.
news.
It's just a place to get.
They're
It's
never wrong.
just gets me from point A to point B. Don't make a big thing about it.
Okay.
But we were out here just the other week for your big customer appreciation day that you do every year. That was a ton of fun too. It's nice to see people come out and have those sort of relationships with you, like as a friend and a colleague, not just the guy I buy my cars from.
Right, and we also made a video of that event too,
Yeah.
which I believe both of you have seen now. And,
Well, we're in it, Tracy.
Yeah, that's right.
And there was a little competition going on, and you can see that video at joecottonford.com.
And we've already provided the ROI for your sponsorship of Freedom Summit because Amy sold a car here this morning.
That is correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, I
And
can
I'm
do
gonna-
anything to help.
Well, I'm going to
You
keep her here
support
till
us,
9
we
o'clock
support
tonight
you.
so that
Yeah.
we can pay for the trip to Mexico.
There
next
you go.
year.
They're very
Oh,
good.
that's right.
You know, actually, this would be a good side hustle for you. You could probably move some product.
I could.
Yeah,
I
you
think
move
how
cars.
are women in the sales force here?
Women do very well. It's
Mm-hmm.
we just can't find enough of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
See? What about that?
Demand.
You do 5 to 9, and then you come over here and you
And
do
then-
the afternoon shift here.
Yeah.
You work till 5, and then you go home and you just do it over again. I mean, that's it's a way
That's
to.
what- that's
You got two
hardworking
boys you got to
American.
put through college. You know, you got to start
Exactly.
thinking about this.
Well, we could just make a permanent studio here at the dealership, and she
There
could just.
you go.
We could do it live from here every day. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. All
Okay,
right.
I
Well,
like the open space.
we'll send that up the flagpole and see who salutes over there at the world headquarters in Elk Grove.
Yeah. So thanks again for being the proud sponsor of Freedom Summit. Why are you back again this year?
Because I love it. I love the people. I love you guys, and I love your radio show. And I'm certainly glad that you guys could come here again, and all the people that you bring that have come in and out of here from 5 till 9 this morning. And so just I just love the whole aura of it.
Aren't you worried about the chapter of Antifa and Carroll Stream coming and vandalizing your place for supporting the program?
I saw somebody with a black hoodie out there.
Yeah,
no,
you
I'm not very concerned about that.
We don't have Antifa here.
We don't have well.
Well, not here. I mean, right?
Uh,
Maybe by your house.
Yeah, this is
On the Ferris wheel.
Probably a safe space, the Western Burbs for now. And so the future of Joe Cotton Ford here.
You're looking at it. I'm here. My wife is here, sitting right over here, and
Hi,
then
Pam.
and then 2 of my kids are working here currently, and I have a third one in law school right now, wanting to become Dan Proft.
Oh boy! So, first of
We're
all,
gonna
tell
have
him
to
to aim
talk.
higher. What did you say? He's in law school. She's in law school.
That's why I
excuse me.
said Dan Proft at.
Oh, Don Prefta. Yeah, sure. Wow. Well, there's a black sheep in every family. What are you going to do? Tracy Kahn, the boss here at Joe Cotton. I just like boss. Joe Cotton Ford And Tracy, thanks so much for joining us, and thanks so much for sponsoring Freedom Fest again.
I'm glad you
Appreciate
guys can make it out here
And
again.
go to freedomsummitchicago.com to get your tickets. freedomsummitchicago.com. Now let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Blue skies and sunshine, WIND Chicago News Time, 9 o'clock.
2 out of 3 economists agree. I'm Chris.